Come. Got such a big cat head. Hmm? Come, you have such a big cat head. Hmm. You're so nice. Hmm? You're so nice. Hmm? You're so nice. Oh my god. So pretty. Hmm? So pretty. Yo, what up, jackasses? Yeah, I heard God of War Trilogy remake is coming out. Hey.
One of the most powerful anti-inflammatory things you can take is a cheap, totally natural supplement. It's rich in polyphenols and flavonoids, and studies have shown it helps lower inflammatory markers like interleukin-6, C-reactive protein, and tumor necrosis factor alpha. It also reduces oxidative stress, so it helps manage chronic pressure and resin honeybees, and it's called propolis. It's widely available and 130 ml. Check out the link video.
Now removed Reddit account JessieBoy347 appear to show the Tumbler Ridge shooting suspect Jesse Van Rootselaar talking about an affinity for firearms. I'm a 15-year-old.
Oh, here we go. So it was either an SKS or some shotgun.
For firearms. I'm a 15-year-old.
Dude, like, I mean, oh my god. If it turns out to be an SKS. The Canadian government wants to ban the SKS, which makes no fucking sense whatsoever. It doesn't fit the basic model of what they're trying to define as an assault weapon, so it doesn't have a detachable magazine. They're also old guns. It's not like you can put any, like, extra furniture on them. And indigenous people use them a lot because they were cheap as fuck. So it's, like, impossible to ban these, but yeah, if it ends up being an SKS, like, oh my god. How's the adductor? Still hurts. Hard to say if it's really feeling any better. I don't think so yet. Like, it's literally been less than a day since I tore it. I did ride my motorcycle today, and it was hurting when I was riding.
Transitioning from male to female. I own 7 firearms. It's cool. It is still unknown where the long gun and modified handgun used in the mass shooting came from. Police say the suspect's license expired in 2024 and no guns were registered in her name, but the suspect's home...
I'm assuming... So, if these are non-restricted firearms, which I'm, like, they'd very likely be, they got rid of the firearms registry. Now they're just making, like, gun shop owners keep a history of sales. So if their license expired and none of these are restricted, yeah, they probably just held on to a bunch.
Did have a history with firearms.
Police have attended that residence in the past, approximately a couple of years ago, where firearms were seized under the criminal code. I can say that at a later point in time, the lawful owner of those firearms petitioned for those firearms to be returned, and they were.
Social media photos appear to show the home's gun safe.
It is very, very.
Let's see. Most of these look like they're probably just bolt actions. That's a shotgun. Yeah, these are... Again, if there was anything even remotely resembling like an AR-15, they would be on that shit. They did the attack with an assault-style firearm, you know, the guns that are black and scary and we don't like.
Very, very rare to see those firearms returned.
This criminal defense lawyer has been practicing for about 15 years with a focus on weapons charges. He says while most Canadian gun owners follow all the rules, it can be difficult for police to identify non-compliance.
Somebody's got a firearm in their house and they're not storing it properly. I mean, barring some kind of a complaint, it's likely that, I mean, nobody would really know.
RCMP confirmed there were no criminal charges related to the seizures at the suspect's home, but would not say when exactly those firearms were returned, something the Premier was asked about late Wednesday.
Does it concern you that guns were taken away from this household only to be returned?
You know, I have a lot of questions. I know the people of Tumbler Ridge have a lot of questions.
The RCMP say the suspect was apprehended on multiple occasions over the past several years due to mental health, although local health authorities confirmed Van Rootselaar was not in patient care at the time of the incident.
It's hard to predict how somebody who's been diagnosed will behave, so judges and police are very cautious.
BC Supreme Court documents from 2015 describe the suspect's younger years as an almost nomadic lifestyle, with multiple moves between provinces and no relationship with her father for many years. Donna?
Okay, Jillian.
I really wonder if there may be some sort of hormonal reason for why, because like there is suspiciously a large amount of trans shooters. I wonder if there is kind of some sort of correlation there where some of the hormonal therapy, if somebody has a propensity for violence or something, or violent thinking, if they go on hormone therapy, it sets them off. I don't know. There might be something there. Do you recommend against dating single moms? Yeah, never date a single mom. Stupid. New Frank shorts. Alright, more lying fucktardery.
So this is the lawyer that screwed me over in my case against Paul Saladino.
I'm pretty sure that's the guy who dropped him as a client because he was fed up with Frank's anti-Semitism. I recall Frank leaking some kind of email or something about it, and the guy specifically mentioned anti-Semitism for why he dropped him as a client.
And as you can imagine, if you hire someone and you entrust them and you think they're helping you and they do the opposite, it can have an insane effect. You know, it's like you're getting backstabbed. And that's what basically happened. He didn't file the correct motions. He didn't do what he should have at certain points, and ultimately led to me getting a default in the case. And he's refusing to admit his malpractice or wrongdoing. The crazy thing is, there was a day a few years ago, this guy called me up and actually threatened my life. Like he was doing some weird, like psychological manipulation tactic, but going from representing me to threatening my life, like that's...
I'm expecting Frank to take this video down. He's probably going to take this video down.
Seems like it's a personal or biased issue against me.
Jesus.
Let me show you some of the emails he sent me. So I filed a lawsuit against him, and he emails me this: "You're fucking joking, right? Look up Res Judica, you ass clown."
Yeah, I think this is the guy who dumped him as a client because Frank was anti-Semitic.
When your redacted was doing OnlyFans, I used an app to download and save all of her content. I masturbate to it on an almost daily basis. Excellent. Excellent, Kumar Richard. 77 quarter vigintillion 777 trevigintillion 777 duo vigintillion 707.
Alright, we'll just skip that. Thanks for the donation, Richard Kumar Nigger Burgess.
Yes. I do not consent to a frivolous lawsuit. If you want to try to properly serve me, then I'll consider it only for the purposes of filing a motion to your egomaniacal reason for being. Frank, this is never going to be a situation where you win. BS YouTube channel aside, you'll never win against me. That's a promise. Get fucked, Jeff Davis. Not accepting service or consenting. There's no personal jurisdiction here, Frank, and no basis or venue. You lose every time. Remember that. You fight me, you lose every single time. Bring it, Jeff Davis. I sincerely fear for your mental health, Frank. You named the Illuminati in this. We hate when people do that. First rule of Illuminati is we don't talk about Illuminati. My council members are going to be pissed I said this much. Be careful. They may be watching. Jeff Davis, a.k.a. Headmaster.
He calls that a threat on his life. What a fucking idiot.
I guess that's to be determined. I will still
The guy was literally fucking with him, like saying you're insane.
claim you never properly served me. On a serious note, Frank, I have deep concerns about your mental health based on the allegations in this complaint. I really
What a
urge you to
dumbass.
seek counsel and seek the therapeutic help you so desperately need. But either way, hire counsel so someone can explain to you why you will very likely not prevail here, and for that matter, why a state court cannot vacate a federal court decision that is well documented you ignored because you thought you knew better for some reasons, despite having no experience in the practice of law. That's the tip of the iceberg as to the list of reasons why your case is so utterly deficient. Hire an attorney or don't. It's your choice. Sincerely, Jeff Davis, head of local Illuminati chapter. And then he said, you can't serve
This guy, like, literally does not take Frank seriously at all.
me in peace.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yay. I'm going to write a few letters to people that can assist here. This case will get dismissed. Move on. Heal. And then I said, admit your malpractice to the court that I was not properly represented so they can dismiss the case, and then we can move on. And then he goes, yeah, that's all your own self-victimizing bullshit. There's absolutely no malpractice whatsoever. You're a corrupt soul who lost your case because you're a bigot and you were wrong, then you neglected deadlines. Cry me a river. There's no situation where you win against me, Frank. Remember that, move on. So, like, as you can imagine, this guy is an absolute tool bag and is used to getting away with whatever he wants. Go figure.
I love how Frank thought this was like an own, but he just made himself look like a fucktard. Let's see, Booty come donate $2. How are we doing this?
3, maybe 4 hours.
Today we're going to show you how to burp. All you have to do is breathe in.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Dodo donate $2. Let me see.
Honor to be able to come before you and say, I actually lost white population in my community. I lost them. They left. They left. I didn't ask them why. They left. So if you see 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 whites in my neighborhood, they're passing through.
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna go over well.
A germ, you know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And then I know this disease will kill me. Right. Like if I don't. And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And then I know this disease will kill me.
He's like retarded. How the fuck is he the health secretary?
Major factor in driving up car prices to unprecedented levels, and the car that you were getting was not nearly as good. In 4 years under the Biden administration, the price of a new and used car rose more than 22%, all to facilitate the Green New Scam without achieving any meaningful impact on the environment, but making the car.
This person doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. The emission standards are getting crazy out of control, and like they're accelerating way too fast, and it's not just a matter of like greenhouse gas emissions and efficiency. There's some other weird shit involved where they look at like the type of hydrocarbons that are like emitted, and that's why you're seeing so many like dumbass, retarded cars that make no fucking sense, that are overpriced as shit, and are just bad. Like BMW, what was it? The M5, it has like a V8 and the fucking battery in it. Like, it's fucking stupid. A lot of cars are reducing their cylinder count because of the emission standards. It has to do with like fuel leakage through the like thingy dingy, something like that. The new what was that? The new Honda, I think it's Honda. They came out with some fucking car that's like ridiculously overpriced. Like even BMWs in the same class are cheaper than it. It's because of these emissions regulations. Like, they are getting stupid and out of fucking control. And it's making a lot of new cars unreliable, especially some of the new diesels.
Are worse. That is why, effective immediately, we are repealing the ridiculous endangerment finding and terminating all additional green emission standards imposed unnecessarily on vehicle models and engines between 2012 and 2027 and beyond. This action will save American consumers trillions of dollars and will lower the average cost of a new vehicle by close to $3,000.
Sick, dude. Bring back the V8s.
Start-stop feature onto American consumers, which unnecessarily shuts off a car's engine when you stop at a red light. In other words, the engine goes off. That's great. The endangerment finding was also used to impose the massive and really very expensive electric vehicle mandate. Expensive in the sense that nobody wanted it. Everybody was going to be forced to buy an electric car in a very short period of time, even though you can't power the car, because we would have had to spend $5 trillion on power stations. That's all dead, gone, over. These crippling restrictions were a major factor in driving up car prices to unprecedented levels. And
this actually makes sense. It's not a bad idea. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo need tellers, I predicted this, remember? Yeah, flotilla sailing to Cuba. You want to bet there's going to be absolutely no aid whatsoever on those dumb boats?
So now looking back on politics and doing stuff there, where it feels like two things have been quite impactful. One, the America PAC, and two, the acquisition of Twitter at the time.
I think those things needed to be done, maximize the probability that the future is good. Politics generally is very tribal, and people lose their objectivity usually with politics. Like, they generally have trouble seeing the good on the other side or the bad on their own side. That, I guess, was one of the things that surprised me the most, is you often simply cannot reason with people. If they're in one tribe or the other, they simply believe that everything their tribe does is good and anything the other political tribe does is bad. And dissuading them otherwise is almost impossible. I think overall, acquiring Twitter, getting Trump elected, even though it makes a lot of people angry, I think those actions were good for civilization.
How does it feed into the future you're excited about?
America needs to be strong enough to last long enough to extend life to other planets and to, I guess, AI and robotics to the point where we can ensure that
this guy is like genuinely retarded. Why do they have aces to our generals?
Year where all of these people have been killed and boats blowing up?
I can't answer much for you. That's a DoD-run operation, and they can talk to you about that.
But doesn't Coast Guard collaborate with them?
No.
No?
Not on that part.
Yeah, just on the rescuing of, yeah. Well, I just want to say, as an American citizen, it really...
When is somebody just going to kick their ass? Anonymous source close to the matter are whispering Steve Bannon, now fully exposed in the latest Epstein files, was allegedly steering the conspiracy mill hard towards blaming Mossad Israel for the whole Epstein operation. Why? Classic misdirection play. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it would get attention off Russia. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donates $2, no VG. He's repealing a 2009 EPA finding, not some recent regulation. Trump administration repealed the finding that greenhouse gases threaten human life and well-being, meaning that the EPA can no longer regulate them. That's probably not good. And
from the Caucasus all the way to the Red Sea, they can stop everything. So that...
What? Iran could knock out pipelines and global energy chaos?
would bring about chaos in the energy market.
Yeah,
that
right.
That would destroy the regional economies as well.
Yeah, that's why when sanctions were placed on them and they couldn't trade oil with anybody, nothing happened.
Well, would probably lead to the collapse of these regimes. But the price of oil and gas would go through the roof and bring down the global economy. So while the Iranians will be striking American military assets, they will also be, and the Iranians work maximum.
This guy is so retarded and delusional.
Killed. That's on an FBI form. That's not somebody calling in an anonymous tip or writing it on some deep, dark place in the internet. That's an actual FBI file stating what happened. And people are going to have to completely take in what they are seeing with their own eyes, what they're reading, and what they're being told. The reality is the Trump administration is not releasing the information. And I got yelled at by the president over this. This is why he called me a traitor. He called me a traitor because I would not take my name off the discharge petition, because I stood firmly and said, no, we're going to release the Epstein files. I'm standing with women who were raped as teenagers. I'm not standing with the government. I don't support the cover up of all of this stuff, whatever it may be. And the president got mad at me, and he's told me, and I've said this multiple times, he told me his friends would get hurt. And that's what he told me. And then we're seeing a continued slow walk and cover up of a lot of this information. And I know that is why. I firmly believe that that's why it is being covered up. Look, Pam Bondi works directly for Donald Trump. She is not out there an independent attorney general. She can't just run out and do whatever she wants. She works at the pleasure and approval of the President of the United States. Everybody in the administration does. So does the FBI. They're under the very same pleasure and approval of the President of the United States. So when everyone's getting mad at Pam Bondi, or you can name anybody.
It's a lot of rambling. It looks like it's, yeah, that looks like a movie shoot. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I hate to say it, but that was one of Trump's few good ideas and terminated one of Obama's few bad ideas.
What, the car emission bullshit? Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
The wrong gym card key to punched in. And, Brad, if I ever say my bad, will you stick a knife in my eyeball immediately?
Absolutely.
My God, I hope I don't ever say that.
I know you asked, what does that mean, my bad? Let's not get kicked out of here before we even start, all right?
Well, if we get kicked out, I'll just say my.
And then I'll fucking...
Is that what you tell the police?
Gouge your eyes
when
out.
they're about to arrest you, say my. Brad, you said it before, haven't you?
Jeff Davis responded to Frank in the comments of his vid.
So
Yes, VG, that's the one.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Jeff the Law Guy. It's funny to me that Frank accidentally compliments me in this video. One, he accuses me of using some insane psychological tactic. Wish I had those skills, to be honest. Two, he felt threatened, scared, because some purported voicemail I left 2 years ago. This guy moved out of his parents' basement like a year ago, and now he's broke in PA. Think I had something like 9 lawsuits against him in New York for breach of contract, defamation, etc. I mean, what do you expect when you think the First Amendment permits you to post garbage online, whether it's true or not? Scary. Dude, his ex-lawyer fucking hates him. Let's see. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Frank, you sued me and the Illuminati. I mean, I'm concerned about your delusions here, but I'm glad you found my emails funny because I thought they were hilarious. Somebody replied to him, the Illuminati are very real. They infiltrated Freemasonry in the 1700s and George Washington himself. What the fuck? Oh, Frank's audience is just fucking retarded. If anything about his claims were true, I would have helped Frank out, as I offered to help him multiple times in various respects for free because I was concerned that Frank's ego was going to end up getting him in even more trouble. Feel bad for you, Frank. It's serious psychological help. Your narcissistic rage does not further your cause. Assuming you even have one. Oh, and next time you get sued, you should really listen to your lawyer. One last thing. Because of this video, you've waived any attorney-client privilege. Saladino can now subpoena me, and I can disclose confidential information about you and the truth about the lawsuits you're referring to. This is not smart, but then again, that's how you roll, Frank. Oh, dude, that's hilarious. His former lawyer fucking hates him. That's great. That's good. Forgot my namification, donate $2. Love him or hate him, the world is less interesting without Lenny. Yeah, that is true. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Did you hear that the God of War original trilogy is having a remake? Look it up if you didn't. Also, please play Resident Evil 4 Remake with mods tonight. In preparation of RE9. I'm playing right now with Ashley nude mods. Her tits and vagina are great.
That makes sense. We could do that. I don't know if I can get away with a nude mod on YouTube. Let me see if anybody's uploaded anything like that. RE4 Remake Ashley nude mod. Okay, that's weird. So there are people who've uploaded shit like this. Belly Dancer 18 plus mod gameplay.
Leon, the stairs.
Okay, so people have uploaded playthroughs where just see your naked butt. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. I don't know what the rules are because there's nudity in Cyberpunk right when you start the game and make your character, and they don't do anything over that crap. So, thanks for that donation, though. Tell Telos Living.
My
bad.
I never heard it. Honestly, until like 10 years ago, I never heard that. Who started saying that? Well, maniacs, when you get together and find out whether it was probably said on some film or something, some cookie cutter movie. Please find out.
Okay, why don't you put your shoes on when you're at home, so we don't have to do this?
My
What do you mean you can't?
food's still not digested.
Oh my God,
You're
I
talking
can't
to a
like
guy
that
that ate
over at
about
all.
9 pounds of meat in the last 2 days.
9 fucking pounds, Leonard? Jesus. It takes you a solid hour to finally get into the goddamn weight room.
That metal.
Watching you put your fucking shoes on is great. Holy shit. If you can fucking hurry up and put your shoes on.
It's going to be a lot of reaching and grabbing and bumping into and excuse me.
The only person that takes 10 minutes to put his fucking shoes on.
Yeah, because I'm a freak.
Yeah,
I'm
we
so
know that.
fucking pumped in my stomach. The Tom Platz of abs is so thick I can't even bend.
You should get your Velcro shoes.
That's no wonder Jay Cutler had assistants. They used to do all that stuff for him.
Jay Cutler was never as big as you.
Piers Morgan has Bassem Youssef and Alan Dershowitz on to discuss whether or not Epstein was working with Mossad agents. Can we react with later?
Yeah, I guess we can react later. Thanks for the donation, Grey Knight.
Oh,
Well, he never had that big of a stomach, I should say.
He never had, because he ate like a little bird. Little chicken breasts.
Please don't tell me you gotta sit here and tie those now. Oh, Jesus.
That's the easy part.
Don't throw up.
You guys okay?
We're good. Everything's good. Just watching him struggle to get his shoes on.
Thanks.
He said,
That's customer service.
Yeah.
I was just wondering at home if you put your feet all over the furniture there.
No.
We have a locker room that you can put your shoes on, and there's benches that are right on the ground to make it easier.
That's going to make it harder. What I do is I eat a 5,000 calorie meal with steak, and I'm being the Tom Platz of abs, like I'm world famous about the gut. It's so hard to put
All right,
on.
let's go. Tie your shoes. He doesn't like you putting your shoes on the brand new furniture.
And the other one, the twink with the red.
Gig donate $2. Is this Aaron P?
No, morning. I have a digestion.
That ain't got shit to do with it.
You shut up. It's digestion, and I am going crazy, and I have no routine.
Well, I ain't got shit to say.
I don't think that's Aaron P.
Let's see what's for lunch today. I made meatloaf yesterday, so you're getting 2 meatloaf sliders. We're not taking out the trash. No. With some pickles on the side instead of on top. Green beans. I made a cheesy potato casserole, which isn't Bobby's thing, so he's just getting steak fries. And there's his cheese for his potatoes. And a mandarin and some trail mix. You are so calm today on your new medicine increase. No. Yes, you are. We're not taking the garbage out still. We'll do it later, once a day. You've just been so chill.
I don't think that's Aaron P. Pretty sure that's also not Aaron P. Dude, if I had a kid like that, I'd fucking dump him in a lake. Dodo donated $2. Let me see. Oh. 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 He wants inside. Oh. Hey, he sees a kitty. Oh, there's 2 kitties in there. Oh my goodness. That was really cute.
This is episode 1 of I'm Still Vegan series, where I'll be spotlighting non-vegan restaurants that have great vegan
Why is the thing so bad?
options. Today we tried this amazing Italian restaurant, Vincenzo Capuano. We first started off with some drinks, followed by the spicy, tangy arrabbiata pasta. It was insane.
Dude. Pasta is like the dumbest shit to get at a fucking restaurant. You just boil fucking pasta. There's nothing special about it. The only thing that really changes it is the sauce. You can just get really good quality sauce at the fucking store. Like, I never get fucking pasta when I'm at a restaurant because it's like, why the fuck would I bother? I can make it myself for like 30 cents at home. And then at the restaurant, they charge you like $17.
The pasta was cooked to al dente and the flavors really popped. They have a fully vegan pizza option that was definitely not boring. It's made with many crispy vegetables and
That looks good.
slathered with zucchini cream. The crust was out of the world, literally the best soft, airy, and chewiest pizza crust I've ever tried. For dessert, we had this grafe, which are these airy fried donuts topped with cinnamon sugar. Honestly, I'm just glad they had a vegan option in every section. Enjoy and
Code pink spreads. Report sent to Congress. Pro-China communism with campaigns like China isn't our enemy. It receives funds from U.S. tech mogul Neville Singham, who lives in China, works with state media. Says exposing it without censoring speech is crucial. Like, these people need to be put in jail or something. It's just crazy that you can be paid to spread propaganda from a hostile regime and just get away with it. President Trump just lit the fuse. With one stroke of his pen, President Trump sent the climate cartel into a total meltdown. Surge coal power through Department of War. Green grifters rage. Blah blah blah. I mean, we should be transferring to nuclear energy. The good thing with coal is it's just like a useful backup. Like Germany's had to switch to coal because the dumbasses were still importing natural gas from fucking Russia. And they shut down their nuclear power plants for absolutely no fucking reason. Epstein, aka Marius Robert Fortellini, Florida representative. Jeffrey Epstein was also Marius Robert Fortellini. This is an official passport with a different name that was released in the files, and yes, that is Epstein. Republic of Austria. I don't know about that. Maybe. Grok, is this true? Epstein had a fake Austrian passport from 1982. Likely stolen and altered. His lawyers claimed it was for protection. Prosecutors, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm assuming you didn't use that for a while. Yeah. Well, that's weird. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Hat cap on backward like Dale Chance. I says, I'm using that. His other goes, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. My bad. He kept saying it. What the fuck? Do you say that, Jay Cutler? I know Dale Chance says it, or he has said it.
Oh, I'm sure.
If I ever say that, my God, will you cut my eyeball?
How many times must this lesson be told to these SJWs who should already understand it? Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. Why doesn't anybody get that?
Yes, that is true. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Balls out.
When we cut your throat.
Even better.
When we cut your tongue out. You can't fucking speak. My bad. All right, let's go to Dick's, your favorite store.
It's about the best LA Fitness, other than a few machines they could have, but still, it's probably the best run.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stink like Boynton. Delray's starting to smell like mildew.
Yeah. All right, Leonard. We're at the barber shop. You've been bothering me about this for weeks, so you want to get your fucking beard trimmed.
I did not.
So don't fucking...
Is this guy just drinking a jug of chocolate milk in the car?
Did
say
not.
I forced you to do shit, okay?
I'm bothering the maniacs. Lucy from Alabama, send her down to me, please. That's my request. I won't bother you again.
Backpage Lucy, Alabama, right?
Yes.
Does she have a last name or just Lucy?
Lucy. Transsexual Lucy.
Disgusting.
The best I've seen yet.
All right, we're gonna go in the back door, which is the way I know you like to go.
With Lucy, I will. Never been that way before, but Lucy, I will. And I'll do it on film for the maniacs if they send her down.
You're a sick fuck.
Backpage, Alabama. Transgender,
I'm not
Lucy.
looking that shit up on my phone, man. I got no interest in that.
I gotta see it. I gotta see that. That's inspirational.
Why? What the fuck is...
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
You're very disturbed, you know that?
Well, I would be too. You saw that.
You are.
You'd be disturbed too.
You mean you would be too.
You'd be disturbed too.
I know, by looking at that shit. That's why I don't look at it.
Freudian slip.
Because I don't want to be fucking
you get
disturbed.
sucked in. You know you get sucked in.
No.
Freudian slip, Brad.
Whatever.
As you look at it, you're getting wood, and you're like,
no, I won't
this
get
shouldn't
wood,
be
'cause I know if
happening.
there's a dick in between there,
One
I'm
part
not
of you
getting
says
wood.
this shouldn't be happening,
No.
like the devil Brad from the cartoons and the angel Brad. But it feels good. I want to hit this. No, you can't do it. You're not a fag.
Sorry, I like pussy.
So do I.
I don't like man pussy. I like female pussy.
Try it.
No thanks. Never, never, never. Would never do. I don't care
Yeah, Lenny took really good care of his teeth.
how many drugs I have in my system. I would never do that.
You're a liar.
Dodo donated $2. She's literally allowed to just barge into a congressman's office. Can Americans in China do that to CCP politicians? Oh, definitely not.
Very irritating group to some people. But of course, they are protesting war, protesting aggressions, and they have a constitutional right to do that.
So we're going in.
Code Pink doesn't receive any money from foreign entities. They literally admitted they receive money from foreign entities.
To the office of Jason Smith, who held a hearing yesterday in which he accused Code Pink and our friends like the People's Forum and Breakthrough News of taking money from the Chinese Communist Party. And I'm sick and tired of hearing that because you know what? One, we don't take any money from the Chinese Communist Party. And you know what? Jason Smith gets $100,000.
So notice the very specific wording there. We don't receive money from the Chinese Communist Party. They receive money from a Chinese billionaire who works with state media and is basically one of the closest allies to Xi Jinping. So saying they don't receive money from the CCP is just a specific claim that they can get away with saying legally. So yeah. It's kind of like saying you've never sucked a dick, but you literally watch your girlfriend sucking cock and then you kiss her right after, you know?
Welcome back, and now to an NBC News exclusive. A little over a month since the stunning capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro by U.S. Special Forces, Meet the Press moderator Kristen Welker is in Caracas, where she sat down with Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, in her first interview with an American journalist since taking office following Maduro's ousting. The interview coming at a historic moment as U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright met with Rodriguez on Wednesday, the first time a member of Trump's cabinet has visited Venezuela. Kristen began asking interim President Rodriguez about that power dynamic. Take a listen.
Who is in charge here in Venezuela? Are you in charge or is President Trump in charge?
Bueno, yo estoy encargada de la presidencia.
Well, I can tell you I am in charge of the presidency of Venezuela, as it's stated clearly in the Constitution of Venezuela. And from the amount of work that I have, from how busy I am, I can tell you it's very, very hard work. And
Blah, blah, blah.
that I
Most of
am.
this is completely
They
uninteresting.
are both President Maduro and Cilia.
Okay, so we'll have fair free election, doesn't provide timeline. Yeah, no shit. So they're just going to play nice with the U.S., and they know what'll happen if they don't. Thanks for the donation, though. Dodo.
Originally, yeah.
Wait, is there? Yeah, one more.
What a lying old bitch.
Yeah, she's one of the worst people I think I've ever seen in my fucking life. I don't want her to live. I was gonna say I don't want her to live long. I just don't want her to live. DOA 2 is a huge step forward. I think I played DOA 2 on Xbox back in the day. I really liked it. Hopefully Dead or Alive comes back. Then we'll have Tekken, Virtua Fighter, and DOA. There's not enough 3D fighters at this point. And Dead or Alive 6 was just funny. Dodo donate $2.
Originally, yeah, we were going to make Starship out of carbon fiber. Yeah, we were.
Is this why Trump wants a deal? He thinks he can't defeat Iran. Oh, he could defeat Iran, all right. Attached report, assess the damage caused by the attack, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, nothing to do with that. I don't know if this has something to do with Russian infiltration. This guy did a whole video responding to your debate. You should debate him.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Counterpoints. My name's Connor. I'm a science fiction, politics, and philosophy nerd. I'm Marine Corps. And that's kind of how I feel like we to Taiwan, and they have the numbers that they could overwhelm Taiwanese forces and then establish a beachhead and then invade Taiwan. So if what we're doing in as this and brought it the Kingdom of Denmark 250 billion day, hey, if we want to fuck you up, we can fuck you up. That's what we said. We basically said if we want to jack you up, we can jack you up, and you can't do anything about it, which is cool. But because Trump is such a loose cannon, I understand the criticism, but then that criticism also applies to Obama. Can somebody correct off? And I
seems like all kind of win-win for the United. Only people who are saying this are
been establishing the take. I want to know what the problem with the take is.
Nothing will be done.
It sounds like he agrees with my take. I only skipped through it, but it sounds like he agreed with me. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Indeed, hopefully at her age, she's knocking on hell's door.
Yes. Or, you know, Bigfoot. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Going to make Starship out of carbon fiber, and carbon fiber is pretty expensive. Like the
This sounds exactly like that submarine thing that happened. We can make a submarine out of carbon fiber, and then here's Musk, who also suffers from narcissism, just like that sub company guy. We can make a spaceship out of carbon fiber. This thing's gonna fucking explode. Dodo $20. No, he does not totally agree with you. Leave a comment to ask him if he wants to debate. Well, what is the like? I'm not gonna watch the whole video, dude. What did he disagree with? Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
You can generally, when you do volume production, you can get any given thing to start to approach its material cost. The problem with carbon fibers is that material cost is still very high. It's about 50 times, particularly if you go for a high strength specialized carbon fiber that can handle cryogenic.
Are Oreos good post-workout if I dunk them in my protein shake? Well, depending on what you mean by good, is there ever a time when Oreos aren't a good idea? Dodo donate $2. Read this, don't skip over it. They reported that none of the infrastructure underground was damaged during the time Trump attacked Iran in the summer. Read it. Well, there would be pressure in space because there's pressure differential. It goes outward, not inward. The attached report assesses the damage caused by the attack, scope of reconstruction. A key medium range ballistic missile launch bases in Iran. Okay. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Oxygen, it's like, call it roughly 50 times the cost of steel. And at least in theory, it would be lighter. People generally think of steel as being heavy, and carbon fiber as being...
It's possible maybe they thought it would be a little more difficult than, they figured. Who knows, though?
Light. And
I
for
just have a
room,
cat here.
room temperature applications...
This cat has your big head.
Like say more or less room temperature applications, like a Formula One car, static aerostructure, or any kind of aerostructure really, you're gonna probably be better off with carbon fiber. Now the problem is that we were trying to make this enormous rocket out of carbon fiber, and
what is my beverage of choice? Well, my favorite is Cherry Coke Zero. Also, the steroids I'm on right now are definitely making me ferociously horny. To a point where I literally want to eat and devour women. So that's getting a little frustrating. But lizards are really nice. I really like lizards. Lizards are pretty cool.
Our progress was extremely slow.
And it had been picked in the first place just because it's light.
Yes. Like at first glance, like most people would think that the choice for making something light would be carbon fiber. Now the thing is that when you make something very enormous out of carbon fiber, and then you try to have the carbon fiber be efficiently cured, meaning not room temperature cured, because you've got, sometimes you got like 50 plies of carbon fiber, and carbon fiber is really carbon string and glue, and you, in order to have high strength, you need an autoclave, so something that's essentially a high pressure oven, and if
Booty come to any tellers, is this Aaron P? Why is... Oh.
Oh, no. Asik. Wis. Nanti. Paintball. Let's check Oscar. Don't try this. I saw that. Excuse me. Bacon lady. Good.
I don't think any of them were Aaron P. It's definitely not Aaron P.
I gave myself a bit of a haircut with my razor down here, but I forgot to check the setting.
He reminds me of a cartoon character. I swear there's like a cartoon character with the same proportions. I was just watching cartoons. I know I saw something that looked similar to this guy. But yes. This guy has really weird proportions. That's literally what he would look like. I can't put my tongue on it. There was a cartoon I was just watching where somebody had like the same body shape.
Because I ended up giving myself a number 1 instead of a number 4 or a 5. My bad. Now I'm a bit of a baldy, or a bit of condom, but hopefully it'll grow back soon.
I don't think that's Aaron P, but thanks for the donation, BootyCon.
Whoever donated that is not me, fake BootyCon.
Okay, well, thanks for clarifying that. Appreciate the donation, BootyCam. Dodo Nutellers' position is that just because the U.S. captured the figurehead of the Venezuelan regime doesn't mean anything will change there, and that's why it was crazy for Trump to do it, and he had this cuck take. Watch 2 minutes. Well, clearly things have changed there. How are we receiving oil? They're also going through the process of reimbursing, what was it, Exxon? And they also got rid of Chinese and Russian influence in that area. So, like, what are they talking about? Well, I didn't say long range. I said some of them are medium range. That could go as far as, like, about Florida.
Yeah, but that would be... And Texas. So that was Ryan McBeth's analysis real quick, was that there were ballistic missiles that could be, or that China might have been selling Venezuela, and it would have been easy for them to strike our oil capacity in southern Texas. And it would be one of those things that we could just kind of like ignore, where we're just like, oh, well, I mean, they're medium ballistic missiles. We got limited missile defense. You know, they're a few thousand miles away. How good could Chinese and Russian technology be? And then, boom, if there was ever like a hot war between the United States and China and we were lackadaisical about it, they could take out our oil refining capacity in the southern United States, and then we're at a disadvantage in a hot war. So it's all about like geopolitical, military, technological, and logistical maneuvering. So, but to dismiss it out of hand, if we have a, analysis, like I'm assuming Ryan McBeth, while I think some of his analysis was very surface level, I'm assuming if he's talking about these Chinese systems going into Venezuela so they could hit our oil capacity, that's got to be based in something, right? And then also, here's another thing too. On principle, do we have the ability or right to dictate to rival and enemy nations what they're allowed to trade amongst each other?
Yes. Like, he's fine with like adversaries trading nuclear weapons. Like I mean, what is he, insane?
Now we assert that, right? We say, oh, well, we're not going to, in reference to Cuba, we're not going to tolerate long-range ballistic missiles being in Cuba. And so we will withdraw our long-range ballistic missiles from Turkey, but we are also going to blockade commercial vessels going to Cuba that are carrying long-range ballistic missiles. So, like we've asserted that right, but on principle or moral, how are we able to dictate that Venezuela?
How are we able to dictate that? Yeah, we want to win. Like, what? That is a bizarre, fucking weird thing to say. Like, this guy has a possible ideological position against national security? Okay, I don't know. How do you justify wanting to not get blown up by nuclear weapons? That was dumb. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Bootycum donated $2. I'm the real Bootycum. That was a fake Bootycum. Okay, well, I'm getting confused now. Thanks for the donation, Bootycum.
If you have something that's a gigantic, the album's got to be bigger than the rocket. So we'll be trying to make an autoclave that's bigger than any autoclave that's ever existed. Or do room temperature cure, which takes a long time and has issues. But the fundamental issue is that we're just making very slow progress with carbon fiber.
I think the meta question is why it had to be you who made that decision. There's many engineers on your team.
Yeah, how did the team not arrive at this deal?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a part of a broader question of understanding your comparative advantage at your companies.
It was because we were making very slow progress with carbon fiber. I was like, okay, we've got to try something else. Now, for the Falcon 9, the primary airframe is.
I'm the real Bootycum $3 dono.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks for the donation, Bootycum.
Made of aluminum lithium, which is a very, very good strength to weight. Actually, it has about the same, maybe better strength to weight for its application than carbon fiber. But aluminum lithium is very difficult to work with. In order to weld it, you have to do something called friction stir welding, where you join the metal with.
You know, it's funny how Hollywood does not have that many good villains anymore because these people like Destiny are truly evil.
Yeah, or just really, really gay. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Without it entering the liquid phase. So it's kind of wild that you could do that, but with this particular type of welding, you can do that. It's very difficult to let's say you want to make a modification or attach something to aluminum lithium. You now have to use a mechanical attachment with seals. You can't.
Who's your favorite friend, Aaron P. or Gig or Axel or Wandering Mason or Godzilla Rules? Well, definitely Gig. It's fun playing with mosquitoes at his swamp.
Welded on. I want to avoid using aluminum lithium for the primary structure for Starship, and there was this very special grade of carbon fiber that had very, very good mass properties. So with rocket, you're really trying to maximize the percentage of the rocket that is propellant, minimize the mass, obviously, but like I said, we were making very slow progress, and I said at this rate we're never going to get to Mars, so we've got to think of something else. I didn't want to use aluminum lithium because of the difficulty of friction stir welding.
Finally admits it.
At scale, it was hard enough at 3.6 meters in diameter, let alone at 9 meters or above. then it says, well, what about steel? And so now I had a clue here because some of the early U.S. rockets had used very thin steel. The Atlas rockets had used a steel balloon tank. So it's not like steel had never been used before. It actually had been used. And when you look at the material properties of stainless steel, especially if it's been very like full hard, strain hardened stainless steel at cryogenic temperature, the strength weight is actually similar to carbon fiber. So if you look at if you look at material properties at room temperature, it looks like the steel is going to be twice as heavy. But if you look at the material properties at cryogenic temperature of full hard steel, stainless of particular grades, then you actually get to a similar strength weight as carbon fiber. And in the case of Starship, both the fuel and the oxidizer are cryogenic. So for Falcon 9, the fuel is rocket propellant grade kerosene, basically pure, like a very pure form of jet fuel, which is but that is roughly room temperature. Although we do actually chill it slightly below. We chill it like a beer.
Delicious.
Yeah, we do chill it, but it's not cryogenic. In fact, if we made it cryogenic, it would just turn to wax. So, but for Starship, it's liquid methane and liquid oxygen. They are liquid at similar temperatures. So basically, almost the entire primary structure is at cryogenic temperature. So then you've got a 300 series stainless that's strain hardened because it's at almost all things at cryogenic temperature. Actually has a similar strength to weight as carbon fiber, but costs 50 times less in raw material, and is very easy to work with. You can weld stainless steel outdoors. You could smoke a cigar while welding stainless steel. It's very resilient. You can modify it easily. If you want to attach something, you just weld it right on. So very easy to work with, very low cost, and like I said, at cryogenic temperature, similar strength to weight.
DD, don't need chillers. Let me see.
I get a question probably every day on my feed. I have this powder. How do I reconstitute this? So I started answering to help people out, but I realized I'm not really doing them a service, because if someone has this powder and doesn't know how much bacteriostatic water for NAD or HCG or for whatever else it is, meaning they're not getting good advice, they're not buying it from the right place. They're ordering it online for some gray market a product out of someone's garage, ordered from a foreign country. So if you want NAD, contact a provider, contact a doctor. And what's the advantage of that? A, they'll tell
they won't prescribe it to you because they're fucktard assholes who think they can dictate your life. 2, it'll be far more expensive. And 3, you may not be able to get it when you want it and in the quantities you want, because it's based off the doctor's prescription, and the pharmacy might be out of stock until a few weeks. So yeah, that's the advantage of ordering through a pharmacy.
Tell you how to mix it. More importantly, they'll give you good advice on dosing as opposed to going to ChatGPT. And even more importantly, if you're ordering it from a doctor or provider or an experienced person, the quality is likely to be a lot better.
The quality is likely to be the same, if not worse. So a lot of the time when you get medication from a pharmacy, they may be getting it from a compounder that doesn't batch test. So they just make batches. They don't test the batches, and they're unaware of some human error that occurred where somebody didn't carry a 1 or accidentally misplaced a decimal point. And then there's half of what you want to get from it. And what, like, all these people are full of shit. All these peptides are made in China. All steroids are made in China. None of the raw materials originate from the US. So in terms of like actual raw materials you're getting the same shit that these other pharmacies are selling you. So like yeah, doctor bullshit. Yeah, they just want to make sure that they have their own market locked down. It's just a racket.
Doc, I get too emotional. I think I need to lower my estradiol. I'm on testosterone. I feel great, 200 milligrams. But I looked at my labs and my estradiol is 65. And the
65 is not very high.
Normal is 39. That's a problem. And I think that's why I'm emotional. And I have a little extra fat around my nipples. Should I lower my estradiol? I look at my records. John, I've known you for 20 years. You've been emotional. You've had that fat before you started on testosterone. You do not need an aromatase inhibitor, and estradiol is 65. It's just fine. Leave it alone.
Yep. Well, he is correct about that.
The age-old question. What's the age-old question? Is it nature versus nurture? No. It's tadalafil versus sildenafil. Cialis versus Viagra. What's better? Probably the most common question I get first. Facial flushing, then
whatever.
Let's fucking go.
That is bizarre. Never seen that before. Thanks for the donation, DD. Dodo donate $2. He also made a point that China could use this as excuse to go after Taiwan. No. I think this could be a good debate. Maybe you'll learn a few things too. Can you please challenge him to a debate? Watch from here 2 minutes.
So,
well, that's just that's just completely nonsensical. Like when the US invaded Iraq, you could have made the same claim. Oh, well, that could have emboldened China because, like, you know, the world order, blah, blah, blah. Well, the whole reason China didn't invade Taiwan is because the US invaded Iraq and it scared the shit out of China how much more powerful the US military is. Same thing here. We defeated Chinese radar and missile systems easily, captured Maduro, no fucking problem. Was like a perfectly executed mission. None of the Chinese systems helped them in any way. That would disincentivize them because they know Team America's fucking back and they're kicking ass. So that's just like, I'm not interested in debating this. It's just fucktarded shit, dude. Oh, wait. What did they say?
It's okay. Normal commercial vessel. It transports cargo. That's what it does. Okay. And what China has developed is they've developed cargo containers or cargo container sized missile systems that do not rely on the power system of the commercial vessel. And so effectively what they can do is they can mass produce this missile system. They can throw them on commercial vessels. Then they can put those in the Taiwan Strait and then fire those missiles into Taiwan in preparation for an invasion. And then they can also use amphibious and paratrooper assets in order to overwhelm Taiwanese forces and then establish a beachhead and then use commercial vessels in order to ferry troops onto Taiwan. And they have the numbers that they could overwhelm Taiwanese forces and then establish a beachhead and then invade Taiwan. So if what we're doing in response is we're saying, hey, you want to go after Taiwan? Well, Venezuela is a third of the proven oil reserves. They're in our hemisphere. They're in our backyard. They have difficulty developing their product. And on top of that, Russia and China benefit from their product because they're selling to you guys almost exclusively. As a result, we're going to put, you want to stick your finger in our eye by invading Taiwan.
Yeah, this just is not an argument. They know the US would defend Taiwan, so this just isn't an argument. They want Taiwan. The only reason they haven't taken it is because they know there's going to be US intervention. So that argument makes absolutely no sense. China is in fact emboldened to take Taiwan. They have no moral issues with taking it. The only issue they have is a U.S. Offensive against them to protect Taiwan, along with other combined forces, Japan, Korea, Australia. So, yeah, if the only thing stopping them is war, and then you have the U.S., who is quite clearly willing to go to war, that rationalization makes no sense. Like, I'm not going to waste my time arguing with some horseshit like that. Just, no point. Vegan egg farts, $22, base James.
You're ready. With our combined feminine prowess, they'll be toast in no time flat.
Well, yeah, I suppose I wouldn't mind knocking Ash down a peg or two.
Let's blow those whining women back to the Dark Ages right where they belong!
Yeah, okay.
I hope...
Oh, he's based. I just, don't talk.
Three, four niggas running through the crib, all black, mask on, running through the crib and shit. One nigga run to the front door. I hop out, I start shooting. Bow, 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 bow. Shot the nigga. Bow, shot his ass. Bow, 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 bow.
What people don't know is I have a pretty nasty mid-range game. And people say, you know, oh, Jordan, well, didn't expect that from you. It's like, yeah, that's how I get you. And you
The first birth of spring. It's not a caribou, but a newborn muskox.
Oh.
A 30-pound baby, delivered straight onto the snow. The family surrounds her, a protection from dangers outside their circle.
It's your baby. My goodness. Look at the little baby.
But within hours, the calf wants out.
Wow.
There's a beautiful new world.
There goes the baby. That's a good baby. Oh my goodness.
In the 1860s, but were brought back in the 1930s.
Why don't they stay little babies?
A little river gully is from the bank.
I wish I could have seen Gummy as a little kitten. Oh, that would have been amazing. Just seeing him grow up into this big, strong man. From a little tiny little boy. Oh, I love my Gum Gum. He has such a big cat head. Oh my god. You are beautiful. Oh my god, I just love you so much. Just want to squish you because you're so gummy.
Clinics charge $150 a month, but they prescribe you 0.6 to 0.8 of a milliliter per week for the treatment, so basically you are paying like 400 a 10 milliliters vial, which costs around 70. It's a total scam.
Are you talking about test? Or some bullshit like peptide? Yeah, doctor, it is a scam. It's just horseshit. All they need to do is, like there's no reason for it whatsoever. Just allow people to get testosterone like they can get alcohol. Like, what is the fucking problem? Thanks for the donation, though, Gooner. It's not like it's even easier, really, with the black market. Wow.
The calf discovers ice.
Ice. Little baby. That's a nice muskox. I gotta see some yaks. I really like yaks. Some Goku donated $2. Shit. Yeah, that guy's pretty damn strong. I don't know why he's squatting in fucking Air Jordans. That's kind of stupid. Those are like the worst fucking possible shoes to squat in. Why? Yeah, at least get like some gay CrossFit shoes or something. Fucking weird. Hey, a girl's butt.
Sweet peppers and onions.
Now, could you fart on that sandwich?
Good, huh? Clearly my favorite.
Too bad, baby. Muskoxen like have to worry about being eaten by wolves.
Yeah, it is too bad. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dude, I want to be strong like a yak. Oh my god. Look at those yaks. Jeez. That's not a yak. That's a bison. That's a yak. Yeah, yaks are pretty crazy. Wow. They're really big and strong and powerful. They're fast too. Holy shit. Well, that yak's helping out a buddy of his. Kind of animal is a yak? Species of long-haired domestic cattle throughout the Himalayas, Tibetan region. So they are cows. Related to cattle and bison. Evolutionary history of yaks has been inconclusive, at least according to Wikipedia. Diverged from cattle at any point between 1 and 5 million years ago. Okay, so they're not quite cows. They're like a super cow. They're really fucking cool. I like yaks. That looks like a nice yak. Yaks are good.
Bitch ass retardus jackass faggot ass cunt ass pussy ass whore ass snake 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 snake. You're a bitch boy cunt boy faggot boy suck my cock nice and goody like country music and jury and writer super.
Fuck. Son of a bitch.
Are you still pissed at me for sending those spam donations? I didn't mean any harm. I like fucking with you sometimes. I told myself before I take my last breath I want to bench 405. Now I want to see you smashed someone on their fucking head before I die.
Well, I don't know if I'll be able to catch that on stream. But, no, it's all good. Thanks for the donation, Killing Titan. Yeah, I heard about the Canadian shooter. We covered it yesterday on stream.
To carbon fiber. Then when you factor in that that we have a much reduced heat shield mass because the melting point of steel is much greater than the melting point of aluminum. It's about twice the melting point of aluminum. And
so you can just run the rocket much hotter?
Yes. So especially for the ship, which is coming in like a blazing meteor, it is you can greatly reduce the mass of the heat shield. So you can cut the mass of the windward part of the heat shield in maybe in half, and you don't need any heat shielding on the leeward side. The net result is actually the steel rocket weighs less than the carbon fiber rocket, because the resin in the carbon fiber rocket starts to melt. So basically,
okay, I'm kind of sick of listening to this guy stutter.
You run into one of the ones, you're a liar.
I swear.
As are 99% of all men. You're a liar. Trust me.
Yeah.
They all said that.
Not everybody is sick in the head like you, Leonard. That's what you don't understand.
Not anybody has come in contact with them, though.
What are you talking about?
Once you come in contact and you have relationships with one, there's a tendency to twist things. Every day.
How many times are you going to have to piss during this cut, Leonard?
I'm all right.
Leonard's is this your first time in a barber's chair?
Yeah, I haven't had hair in a while, so years, I'd say.
No, I'm saying, is this the first time you're ever in a barber shop?
Yeah.
You
nervous? Sort of.
My olive-skinned brother will take care of you.
I'm afraid I'm going to turn into a cookie cutter. That's what I'm most afraid of.
Trimming your beard at a barber shop isn't being a fucking cookie cutter, asshole. What do you think?
I don't know about the cookie cutter shit, but we're going to cut the... You might have cookies in that beard.
And I'm sure there's going to be some crabs coming out of there. Dried up tranny.
I've been celibate for a while. Over a year.
How you feeling? Did you fall asleep over there? I saw you fucking dumbass giggling. What the hell were you giggling at over there?
Talking to the girl, I told her you look like Christina. I kept staring at her and winking at her, and she was like blushing. She left.
Yeah, she left.
But she looked her up online.
You started that
and
shit.
She said bye. I said bye, Christina.
No, you didn't. You asshole.
She liked it, but
you scared her the fuck out of you.
Thanks a lot.
There you go. This guy said he drinks 5 gallons of water.
I heard there's some GHB in there.
Oh, there is.
That'd be great. I haven't used that in a while.
I think my hands are shaking.
Oh,
You're nervous? That's not good. The barber with shaky hands.
Shaky tremble. No, I'm just kidding. I just say I'm good.
You're fucked. Maybe he'll shave some like squiggly lines in your beard.
We'll find out the results right after this. Alright, let's get going. This should be called Detox. You should get with Eminem and make a new album called Detox.
Leonard will never be detoxed.
Detox. Detox.
You know how much these chairs cost, Leonard? This chair costs what, $1,200?
More than my bike. You got so same as my bike.
Yeah. What do you? How much is this chair that he's about to break?
It's holding me good.
It'll hold up. It should hold up. Just can't move around. Yeah, drug addict supporter. He likes that.
And
Side effects.
And then all of a sudden it's like it's olive skin brother.
Meal.
Oh my god.
Crazy. I
don't know.
If you went to Hollywood.
Since when did Seth would film them?
It's like titty fuck.
Fuck.
I mean, I'm always a little.
What do you mean? How are you going to? You said one girl told.
Did he work for Mossad? It's more like Mossad was working for Epstein.
I could have gotten him no jail time. If he had told me he was an intelligence source, it would have been a slam dunk for me.
I am a co-founder of Dropsite News. Ryan Grimm, welcome back to Uncensored. There are so many files here, and I have noticed just on an almost daily basis now, there's a lot of stuff in there about Israel, about Ehud Barak, about Epstein, and people are beginning to put all this together and saying that actually what initially was dismissed as a kind of outlandish conspiracy theory may well be closer to the truth, that Epstein may well have been some kind of Israeli agent, but potentially working with Mossad. But you've studied these files in a lot more detail than most. Mm-hmm. What is your assessment of that?
I mean, it's not a simple question. It doesn't have a simple answer. What I would first tell people is just Google or use a search engine that functions, Dropsite News, Epstein, Israel, and you'll find a series of stories that we have published already and that we're consistently adding to. But then you can also ask yourself just some basic questions. All right, how did he get an Austrian fake passport? I mean, a real passport.
Cesspool to utility so cooked.
Child killers and all that. I can't. Not cool. If I'd known it was like this before I came out here, I would have stayed on the main line.
He thought leaving the gang and getting sent to Snai would be paradise. Turns out, it is more like a sewage pit of society. Tim Duncan used to be deep in addiction. To survive inside, he fought and stabbed his way into the Aryan Brotherhood. But then boom, he got life inside for just $20 worth of crystal. He later walked away from AB and got moved to Snai, and what he found there shocked him. Not just ex-gang members, but people who hurt kids and worse. It straight up disgusted him. For Duncan, losing his respect inside hurt more than losing his freedom. He says he is living in a pile of human garbage now, but he found a way to cope isolation. He works 13 hours a day maintaining the building's electrical systems, pulling about $250 a month. That job is the only thing that keeps his mind out of this place. He buys his own food with that money. He even refuses to eat the prison meals, thinks someone may have messed with it. Instead, he slices peppers inside his cell using a razor. Yeah, contraband. His big
Okay. I'm Cater 9220. My TSH is 5.09 because I stay lean year round. 2,000 cows plant-based. Doc wants to put me on T4 thoughts. Also, would hopping on test offset my mild hypothyroidism? If anything, it could probably make it worse. I don't know how lean you really are. If you're like really, really ridiculously lean, you know, like you're trying to stay close to 5% or something, and yeah, you're really restricting calories, that will definitely slow your thyroid output. If you don't have any symptoms, it's not necessarily a problem. Like, again, your thyroid slowing down is kind of like a natural adaptation to low energy intake. So, and like just weight loss. My T4 was low, and I had horrendous peripheral edema and muscle aches. So if you're symptomatic, yeah, and I'd also recommend just eating more and not staying so lean. But no, if anything, testosterone would likely make it worse, if anything. All steroids can actually lower T4. They can increase T3 conversion and then lower T4. And that might make your TSH worse. But Anavar is particularly bad for that. I think Trenbolone and certainly growth hormone. But yeah, you'd have to go on T4. Thanks for the donation, though, MK. Dodo donators react to Sarah Payne next.
What is it with the female asshole? Why are so many men attracted to females' assholes? There seems to be no evolutionary reasons and benefits. Do you have any ideas why? And I'm genuinely wondering why. Why are men into anal? Also, how is your adductor?
Girls' buttholes are just fucking pretty, and I want to sniff them. So yeah, they're pretty, they smell good, I like sticking my tongue inside of them, and I also like fucking them. I like putting my thumb in their butts, want to put my dick in their butts too. When I'm fucking their pussy, I always like playing with their butts and putting my thumb in their butt. I just love butts. And my adductor still hurts. Like, it was a bad enough tear where I could actually see the muscle retract. I was looking at my left leg, and then I just saw, like, junk, like this piece of meat just, like, drop down. And there was a popping noise, too, so... Not great. It's not hurting quite as much to sit down. I was riding my motorcycle today, though, and I definitely was feeling uncomfortable extending my left leg on the bike, so yeah. I took the last 2 days off training because of that. My elbow's also fucked right now, too, so I figured, there's not really anything I can do right now, so, you know. Just eating apples and tofu and cuddling with the cat, enjoying life, you know? Thanks for the donation, though, Mac Daddy. Cock size large, only $2. Cocks slapping other cocks, trying to get bulkier. Fuck, so hot.
I'm a nigger, and I run fast.
Okay, well, that guy's weird. Thanks for the donation, cock size large. Why do you recommend take testosterone if their T4 could decrease? Doesn't really happen with testosterone. It can. Like, it's really, that's not happening in, like, TRT dosages. If you're on very high doses of test, so, like, when you're talking about close to a gram, you can definitely see that. The anabolic steroids that I know of that are particularly bad for causing a decrease in T4 are Anavar and Trenbolone. Anavar and Trenbolone will almost certainly cause a decrease in T4, and probably the worst drug for that is growth hormone. I had to go on Synthroid because of the growth hormone. But thanks for the donation, Quad Stomp.
Passport with a fake name in 1982. Like, there aren't many regular people that can get, fake passports to help them travel around the world. Another important thing to understand is that, three of the people that he is very closely associated with in the 1980s are Stan Pottinger, who is a attorney who is known to have moved money for the CIA during Iran-Contra, Adnan Khashoggi, who is like the banker during Iran-Contra. He's moving money and weapons, a Saudi figure, and Douglas Lease, a weapons contractor. He was a protege to...
As far as I know, low T4 doesn't cause low testosterone.
Douglas Lease. He was a business partner to Stan.
Was this your first droid rage moment?
Bro out of breath from doing shrugs. LMAO. Well, how about you fucking face me in a fucking cage match? Huh? Yeah, my cardio is so bad. Well, why don't you fight me in a cage? We'll see how bad my fucking cardio really is, dipshit. I do 40 minutes of fucking cardio every day. Yeah, guess what? Unlike you, I fucking lift heavy and train hard, and yes, you have to breathe heavy, because when you're lifting heavy fucking weights with high intensity, that requires fucking oxygen. If you're a tiny little fuck who lifts shitty-ass little baby weights, yeah, you might not have to breathe very hard. Fucking idiot.
I think that's just the way I am. It had nothing to do with the steroids. But thanks for the donation, Clinton. That was funny that happened right after I started hopping on gear.
Pottinger, at the time that Stan Pottinger was, heavily involved in Iran-Contra, and he was, he knew and he ran in the same circle as Adnan Khashoggi, and he has a fake passport. So, and then he emerges out of Iran-Contra, with enormous amounts of, wealth and power and connections. So and then of course there's the Robert Maxwell connection, Ari Ben-Menashe, who, I don't know if you've had him on your program, you should if you haven't, former Israeli intelligence official himself has said that, Epstein knew Maxwell. Whether or not he did, that's an open question. Just those connections alone. And then for Netanyahu to say that, well, okay, he was very close with Ehud Barak, therefore he had nothing to do with Israeli intelligence is absurd. Ehud Barak, played a central role, however you want to define it, in Iran-Contra. He was an Israeli intelligence official, throughout the 1980s. He becomes prime minister, becomes minister of defense. Another, top Israeli spy who is a protege of Ehud Barak, Yoni Koren, stayed for like weeks at a time at Epstein's apartment.
Manu was so ripped and lean just a few months ago, back then. Now all you do is eat cookies with non-vegan Reese's Pieces in them, chips, soda and fried tofu, and you don't train hard anymore. In fact, you aren't training at all, lol. You're getting fat.
Uh-huh. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
In Manhattan. So I think the public hears all of this information, and it's like, okay, I kind of think we get it. What is confusing is that, did he work for Mossad? That part is confusing, because if you think of Mossad as or any spy service as a spy service, like, what is it in service of? These spy services are in service of extraordinarily powerful kind of multinational global networks of individual figures. And so it's not as if, is Mossad or something like that, he was working for them. It's more like, that Mossad was working for Epstein. Now that's putting it quite too simply, but
this guy
if you
is just making up horseshit.
Understand, the way that power works at, the top global levels, they are the Israeli kind of cyber weapons program, which itself is very connected to the Israeli state itself. And
really know where the vast amount of Epstein's wealth came from. From everything we're gleaning from these files, what is your best guess?
Well, you have to understand that during Iran-Contra, hundreds of millions, eventually up to a couple $1 billion, were stashed away in these secret slush funds that were controlled mostly by the Israelis, because the Israelis were the middlemen, and the CIA had their own slush funds as well that were coming off of the profits that they were making from basically upselling weapons to Iran. Think about that, by the way. Netanyahu is here in Washington today urging Trump to bomb Iran because of this gigantic threat. In the 1980s, it was Israel and the United States who were arming Iran to the teeth and making a huge profit out of it. Out of that, they created this network of shell companies and slush funds that had to secretly move constantly to avoid detection from people that are like trying to uncover money laundering. And Epstein's right in the middle of all of that. So you can imagine how somebody comes out of that with their with a significant amount of wealth to begin with, and from there he gets linked up with Les Wexner. We have a story even about how the planes that were involved in Iran-Contra, when the heat really got on them, Epstein moved those planes to Columbus, Ohio, so Les Wexner could use them for a couple of years, shipping his lingerie and Abercrombie and Fitch around the world. So there's really a direct line from this Iran-Contra scandal that creates this kind of shadow world of money laundering and kind of develops into the quasi like government criminality that we have today, to then Les Wexner and him becoming the power of attorney for Les Wexner. And then once you're locked in, he's the rich guy who also handles Les Wexner's money. Then you're in. Then you can start getting contracts with people like Leon Black and others, and it just snowballs.
Fascinating. Ryan Grimm, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much.
Yep, my pleasure.
Well, to debate all of these claims is Alan Dershowitz, author of The Preventive State and Jeffrey Epstein's former lawyer, and comedian and activist Bassem Youssef. Well, welcome to both of you.
Why in the fuck did he get a fucking retarded comedian who self-admittedly spreads misinformation, knowingly, doesn't care, and doesn't know shit about any of this? Okay, this is just going to turn into a crap fest.
Alan Dershowitz, I know you said emphatically you do not believe...
Of course he is. He's an anti-Semite like everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Jeffrey Epstein was a spy. But as more and more stuff appears in these document dumps from the files, there is more and more stuff linking him to Israel, to Ehud Barak, to all sorts of stuff. Are you still as certain?
More so. Look at the chronology. As far as I know, he doesn't meet Ehud Barak until after he pleads guilty. And if he had been a spy before he pleaded guilty, the first person he would have told that was me. I was trying to get him the best possible deal. And I asked him over and over again, what can you tell me that will get you a better deal? Do you have anything on Trump? Do you have anything on Clinton? Do you have anything about intelligence? He would have told me. Instead, in 1999, 1998, I was in Israel doing research for a book, and he called me from Paris saying, I want to come to Israel. I've never met any Israelis. I don't know anybody there. Could you arrange a lunch for me with Israel's 5 smartest people? And so I did. I got the Justice of the Supreme Court, the Attorney General, interesting people that I thought he would meet. And we had lunch, and then he and I took a walk in the shuk, and I bought him a T-shirt which said, I'm a member of the IDF, kind of khaki T-shirt, and he loved it. He wore it. There's no possibility that he was working for intelligence at the time I was representing him. Now we have a chronological issue. He meets Ehud Barak, but that's later. Did Mossad hire him after he was convicted? Well, maybe. Your previous guest talked about planes involving Victoria's Secret. Well, Wexner didn't buy Victoria's Secret until well after the early time. So one has to look at the dates. One has to look at the chronology. I hate to pour water on a fascinating conspiracy theory. It's so much fun to talk about. But from what I know, I just don't see any evidence that he ever worked for the Mossad. And if he did, why wouldn't he have told me? I actually was a lawyer. I represented the Mossad back in the 90s when 3 Mossad agents were caught in Cyprus, and Cyprus thought they were working for Turkey. In fact, they weren't, and I helped to get them out. I have a very good relationship with the current head of the Mossad, the former head of the Mossad. Obviously, I've asked them that question, and there's no evidence.
Alan, I would say this. I would say this to you. If I was to ask you about all the despicable crimes that Epstein was committing, right, you would say, because I think you've said it publicly, you didn't know about any of that, right? So could it be that Jeffrey Epstein just had a completely different life that he just did not tell you about? And that included despicable human sex trafficking. And it may also have included being a spy. I mean, clearly, if he wasn't telling you about all the sex trafficking, which was a huge amount of his life, then why is it surprising if he kept the rest of it from you?
Well, it's very surprising because telling me about his sex life didn't help him. Telling me that he worked for the Mossad would have given him a get-out-of-jail-free card. Remember,
Seems Jeff fired in 228. Really wish test didn't age you long term. It doesn't. Androgens make you look and feel good, but they speed up cellular aging. Yeah, great. Who cares? Look like I'll have to cap my cycle at 200 milligrams. So, first of all, Larry wasn't only taking tests. Like, this guy's talked about 1,000+ nandrolone and trenbolone cycles. So this guy was taking like over a gram of trenbolone for, his cycles, plus whatever other anabolics. We've seen some of his diet as well. Not good. And the guy has like bloat maxed and shit before to like pass some PRs and shit. Like, it just, using this as an example, somebody who was on a cocktail of different drugs, doesn't eat great, and you're comparing photos of them where one has more neutral sort of even lighting. This has harsh down lighting. He's leaner here, fatter here. He is a couple years younger here. Like, that affects things too. Like, stupid. You can see plenty of like IFBB pros and shit that are like into their 50s, 60s, 70s. They don't look old for their age. If anything, a lot of them look young for their age. Oh my God.
older. So if you consistently maintain testosterone above what your body would naturally produce at peak health, you are sustaining a metabolic state your physiology did not evolve to support long term. Higher muscle protein synthesis, higher red cell mass, higher basal metabolic rate, and higher mitochondrial respiration all require greater oxidative throughput. Greater oxidative throughput without compensatory upregulation of antioxidant capacity generates cumulative molecular damage. Based on
And you can supplement antioxidants.
Kinetic data from standardized enanthate cypionate dosing, approximately 70% of men will fall within a predictable range for a given weekly dose. So the supraphysiological threshold consistently exceeds 1200 nanograms per deciliter, and this typically requires
the higher end of the natural range is 1800 nanograms per deciliter. Like that's the top, like 0.1% of people. So no, it should, the upper end should be like 1800.
More than 200 milligrams per week. So going beyond this threshold, you have to start looking at your blood work. And
yeah, great, whatever. Thanks for the donation, Sames Jaffire.
Oh no, not this Hamar's ass kisser, the other guy I'm referring to again.
Yeah, the shitty comedian Bassem Youssef. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Yeah, steroids don't have shit to fucking do with it. Because this was way before steroids.
Fit, right? I guess he's fucking fat powerlifter, and he's not in shape because he fainted doing overhead press. Fuck you. You're a fucking idiot. Yeah, let's see how, out of shape I am, huh? You wanna fight me in a fucking cage and see how out of shape I am? I guess I don't have to be in great shape to fight you, would I, dipshit? I just have to smash you on your fucking head!
Yep. Thanks for the donation, Killing Titan. Don't sass the sasser. Donate $2. Let me see.
How you doing? How you doing, man?
Do I look like I'm okay to you? Do I look okay to you?
I'm sorry. He's yelling at me. Go in.
Yeah, why would you do that? Oh, yeah. I love this clip.
Throat. This is a Neanderthal, and it's very squat. Probably the voice would be higher. So, Elliot, let's try male human voice, count over 3.
1, 2, 3.
Just pitch up your voice.
1, 2, 3.
Now, we might have an idea that a macho sound is low, but that might be very useful, but it gets even more complex. His body. Now speak. 1, 2, 3. Now let's make a sound. Just let's make a huge R. And again.
Yeah. BBC. That was so great. That was such an old meme. Is follistatin gene therapy a scam? It seems to do something.
Thoughts on Attack on Titan? When are you doing a Halo playthrough?
Attack on Titan's cool. The first few seasons were the best, then the last one, just not great. And I don't know if I'm gonna do a Halo playthrough, like,
No, not the comedian. The other guy on the right side.
Yeah, that's Bassem Youssef. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. I might play through the Halo remake thing they're doing. Because why not, I guess. Thanks for the donation, though, dumbass. Yeah, so follistatin seems to do something. It's just... I haven't seen anybody get jacked from the follistatin gene therapy.
Jeffrey Epstein hated me before he died. He wrote all kinds of letters to Woody Allen as to what a terrible lawyer I was. He wouldn't pay me my fee. He fired me because he thought I had gotten him a terrible deal, that famous sweetheart deal. He ended up 18 months in prison. He was outraged. He didn't want to spend a minute in prison. I could have gotten him no jail time. If he had told me he worked for the Mossad, for the CIA, he was an intelligence source, it would have been a slam dunk for me to go to
Yeah, that sounds like he would have said something.
whoever I had to go to, even up to the President of the United States, and I would have gotten him a deal with no time at all. Epstein was a selfish SOB. He would do anything to avoid prison time. Why wouldn't he have told me that he worked for the Mossad if he worked for the Mossad? So, yeah, of course he's not going to tell me when I knew him as an academic acquaintance. He's not going to tell me he's having sex with young children. He hid that from everybody. He did have a separate life, a completely separate life. But once I was his lawyer, it was in his interest to tell me things that would benefit him. And I can't imagine anything benefiting him more than having worked for an intelligence agency. But I pressed him
I mean,
on
some
that,
people might
and
be.
he didn't.
I'll come to Bassem in a moment, but some people will be listening to this going, hang on a second, you mean if he'd said he was working with the Mossad or CIA, then he would get off being a paedophile? In other words, you can commit crimes of paedophilia
no, he wasn't
against
accused of being
children,
No,
and he would simply not go to prison for it.
That's right. Let's be clear. He was charged with 2 counts. One, a 17-year and 10-month-old woman who he paid for prostitution. The other, a woman in her 20s who was a prostitute who he paid. Those are the only 2 things he pleaded guilty to. The only 2 things he's ever been convicted. He was never convicted of pedophilia. He was never convicted of trafficking. None of that. He may have done all of those things. But when I was representing him, all he was being charged with was these 2 counts of paying prostitutes. One who was 17 years old and 10 months. I could have gotten him no jail time for that if he had been a member of the Mossad. Any good lawyer could have parlayed his membership and his contribution to intelligence into a deal. Or, for example, if he had anything on Donald Trump or anything on Bill Clinton, of course any prosecutor would exchange this nobody, who nobody had ever heard of at the time, getting free from prison for, my God, the president, former president, future president. No, the best evidence is that he never, ever tried to tell me anything that would help him, that would support any of these theories about Clinton or Trump or the Mossad. So I am completely...
So the Israeli time frame doesn't make any sense, and he'd clearly be motivated to have told his lawyer about this, which he didn't.
Confident that he was not an intelligence asset. I wish, your previous guest is right. He would have been a perfect intelligence asset if I were the head of the Mossad. I would say, oh my God, now that I know who he knew, Bill Gates, everybody, the Sultan of this, the Sultan of that, sure, we try to recruit him, but they didn't know that at the time because he didn't have many of those friends back in the 1980s and 1990s. Many of them became his friends, ironically, after he got out of prison.
Okay, Bassem Youssef, you've been waiting patiently. Welcome back to Uncensored. What is your response to Alan Dershowitz?
Well, I think that what Mr. Alan Dershowitz just said is the best recruitment video for Mossad. Basically, they're telling people, if you're Mossad, you can get away with anything. The same thing that...
Oh my God. What does this have to do with anything? So they just brought him on here to say, oh, poor Palestinians?
happened with Tom Alexandrovich, the cybersecurity guy from Netanyahu's government who was arrested in Nevada for trying to lure a minor in an FBI stint operation, and he got off the hook. He traveled. He didn't even have to attend his trial. He did Zoom from Israel. And like Ori Solomon, just a couple of days ago, there was a biolab in Nevada that nobody is actually talking about. Actually, as a matter of fact, the mainstream media, they reported it, but they never mentioned his nationality as an Israeli who was running a biolab in Nevada that includes deadly viruses. If that was a Muslim, it would be like all over the news. So basically, Mr. Dershowitz is telling us, if you're Mossad, you have like an out-of-jail card. And you know what? Maybe he's right.
Or CIA, or CIA agent. That's true.
Mr. Dershowitz, I did not interrupt you a single second when you talked. So like, after you're done with your gaslighting, please let me finish. First of all, I think like I'm now kind of leaning towards believing mainstream media, especially CBS and CNN under Barry Weiss and Larry Ellison. I mean, the evidence is there that he is actually a Russian asset. His girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, was the daughter of a Mossad super spy. He was represented by you, Mr. Dershowitz, Israel's favorite lawyer, who you're also a lawyer to the Mossad, which, of course, everything you tell us will be true. Ehud Barak was at his place the whole time. He fled to Israel. He was charged with sex crimes, and he was pictured wearing an IDF shirt. He was funded by pro-Israel fanatics. He worked for the Rothschild. He donated to pro-Israel student groups. He was responsible for the Wagner's group's pro-Israel philanthropy. He supported Israel settlement projects. His friends were all Zionists. He referred to us as Goyam. He was involved in Israel diplomacy effort. He brokered security deals with Israel, and even a former Israeli intelligence officer, Ari Ben.
This guy is a whiny bitch faggot. Oh my God. What a whiny bitch faggot. It's all just beta mailery. You decided what game to play. Can you try Code Vein? Capcom sale. They got Dino Crisis 1 and 2. Huh. Hey, it's gonna come out this year. What is Remember Me? Third-person action adventure. I cannot remember this game at all. DuckTales. Penis. Yeah, I already have that. Code gay. Why does it have mixed reviews? Does it run like shit? Blows my mind is that it's open world and you get little no reward exploring vast emptiness. If you're coming to play this game expecting the same level, the same feel style as first game, don't bother. Combat overall feels more janky. Okay, weird. So Code Vein 1 is worth playing? Why is this shit still $80? Holy fuck, dude. I don't know. I don't know.
Actually, like Mr. Ryan Grimm said, he said he ran a honeypot for Israel.
Let's just play The Last of Us 2 again.
Was definitely a Russian spy. Makes sense. You know what? I'm by the way, Mr.
You're a good comedian. You're a good comedian. This is very funny.
I'm actually a huge fan of yours because I have known you since the 2000s. I mean, actually, you're one of the very few lawyers who are actually known in the Middle East. It's like watching a real-life courtroom drama lawyer. There's even T-shirts with your face in it in Egypt. And I've followed you for a while. And that's why I'm here today. When they told me Mr. Dershowitz is here, I was like, I have to be here just for the gaslighting because the level of gaslighting isn't new. For more than 2.5 years, Mr. Dershowitz and
this guy is probably a narcissist. I notice that every criticism or accusation he makes against somebody, he holds that position.
his client, Israel, have gaslighted us in front of our eyes for 2.5 years with all the destructions and the killing that we've seen in Gaza. But they, according to them, it's not a genocide, it's self-defense. He told us that every dead child is
not a genocide.
That the
it's a blood libel to call it a genocide.
That the International Court of Justice is a fake court, and Israel is anti-Semitic. Now, Mr. George, please, I did not interrupt you. Don't interrupt me. I know that you're a lawyer and you do that. Objection,
I'm going to interrupt you if you use the word genocide.
Now, the files are public. People can read them. People can see the horrible stuff that you, again, are gaslighting us. In your own word, you said that he's not a pedophile because he liked 15 and 16 years old, but not 11 and 12 years old.
No, I said 17 and 10 months.
People can
17 and 10
you
months.
can read the ages of the kids in the emails. They can read about the pizza, the ice cream, the beef jerky,
convicted.
and you can see the connection with Israel. And yet here you are again, gaslighting us. This is your playbook, attacking the victims.
It's called
the Palestinians, Hamas,
it's
terrorists,
called truth.
Palestinian victims, liars.
Yeah, this guy is such a liar.
Drama students, and of course,
you say Hamas are not terrorists?
You have a history
you say
of
Hamas are
hiring
not
investigators to dig through teenage girls at MySpace pages looking for marijuana.
That's what lawyers
you
do.
called a 16-year-old girl a thief in the Daily You got Epstein 13 months in county jail with work release for abusing 34 victims where he should have got life life in prison. That's not a plea bargain. That's a spa package. And every single
You're
time,
just
your
lying.
defense is the
I
same.
challenge
He's
you to
lying. He
defend.
wants money.
I challenge you to defend your statement that he got 18
Stop
months.
interrupting me, Mr. Dershowitz.
You're
You
just
represented
lying.
a Syrian
You're just
child
lying.
predator and got him the deal of the century. 2 women accused you under oath. You settled for nearly $1 million. Innocent men don't pay. They go to trial.
That's
You know
another
who
lie,
pays?
not a penny.
Guilty
You're
men with good
lying.
lawyers.
You're
Oh, wait,
defaming me.
are the good
You are now
lawyers. What
going.
does that
You are
make
now
you?
going
You
to be
have spent 50
sued.
years
You are
defending
now going to be
rapists.
sued.
Oh yes, sweet. Alan Dershowitz is gonna sue him.
For saying I paid.
Dershowitz sued Mohammed Ajab, and I think he won. I think Mohammed Ajab had to pay him like over 100 grand.
$1 million. You're going to be sued, and I would, Pierce, I would recommend you cutting him off when he says that I paid $1 million. I didn't pay one penny. That's a lie.
Bassem, you've spoken for a long time. Okay, Bassem, you've spoken for a long time. Bassem, you've spoken for a long time. You've made a number of allegations.
There is going to be, I can tell you right now, I am going to...
What is this guy's kryptonite? I would really like to use it to fucking kill him.
IDF bunker buster bombs. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I didn't interrupt him.
Okay, I am going to make it very clear. I'm going to make it very clear. I'm going to make it very clear. I'm filing a lawsuit immediately. I'm instructing my lawyers to file a lawsuit against him for saying I paid $1 million. What happened is a woman falsely accused me. She admitted she may have mistaken me and confused me for somebody else. She dropped all of her charges. Not a single penny was paid, nothing. And it's all in the agreement, all a matter of court record. You saying that I paid $1 million is going to result in you having to pay me many millions of dollars. What'd you say?
This is from the New Yorker.
The New Yorker never said anything like that. You know, you're such a liar. You know, I thought you were a comedian. I thought at least you'd be funny. You're just a liar. You're just somebody who is prepared to make any kind of anti-Semitic, anti-Israel statement, and you're willing to lie about it. Now, I want you to justify the million. I want you to justify that I paid $1 million. I want you to justify that. Will you justify it? Will you justify that I paid $1 million? Where did you get that piece of nonsense? Where did you make that up? You said Hamas is not a terrorist organization?
If you want to sue someone,
you show me the New Yorker and I'll pay you $1 million. You're a liar. The New Yorker didn't print that. You're lying.
Okay,
why don't we take a time out now? Go online, get the New Yorker, and show the people that are listening, the good people, the New Yorker. You're lying through your teeth. You're a despicable liar, and if you said it under oath, you'd be a perjurer. There is no truth to what you've said, period, and I'm going to sue you.
Oh, come on. You do. Is that what you
Finally,
do?
I shut him up.
No, I didn't shut up. You're just like cutting me. Mr.
He's probably going to lose the lawsuit now.
You went from I never got a massage on Epstein to I got a massage.
All he had to do was say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. I must have misheard." He's like doubling, tripling, quadrupling down.
From a 50-year-old Russian woman named Olga. But I take my
wife
underwear
and I both received therapeutic. I received a neck massage back in the 1990s. I've never received an erotic massage in my life. I have never told a misstatement about this. And I want you to show everybody the New Yorker, the claim that the New Yorker said I paid $1 million. It's an outright lie. You can look it up right now while we're talking. Show it to people. Show them what you say the New Yorker said.
I'm waiting.
Look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking at right now. It is called for people to search it.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Everybody can see it.
It's called Alan Dershowitz,
your line now. Maybe it'll mitigate your damages.
Brock, July 29, 2019. You can read there. It's there.
Read me the quote. Read me the quote about $1 million. You can't find it because it's not there, because you made it up and because you're a despicable liar. And you're going to be sued. And if you want to mitigate your damages, then you'll show me the New Yorker. But you're not going to show me the New Yorker because everybody out there is going to look you in the eye and say, you lied on international television about Dershowitz paying $1 million and the New Yorker saying it. It is false, categorically false. I'm calling you a liar. You can sue me for defamation. And if you can produce the New Yorker article, you'll win that case. But you can't because it doesn't exist.
No, sir, I can read it to you right now. I mean, it's there.
Yeah, read it to me right now. Read it to me. Let's hear it.
Okay. Do you have a second?
I have more than a second. I have all the time you want. Read me a New Yorker statement that says, I paid $1 million to the woman who accused me falsely and who admitted that she may have misidentified me with somebody else. You read me that right now.
Yeah.
Silence. Silence.
So, dude, it's a big article.
Profound silence. Find me the relevant point. Find it for me. We have all the time in the world. Find it for me. Let's go. Find it for me. You can look it up. Google has, we would say, Dershowitz $1 million.
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
We caught you.
In 2015, when Jeffrey's allegation against Ghislaine Merton and Epstein became, just before a trial was to begin in May 2019, the amount was undisclosed, but Jeffrey reportedly received a multi-million-dollar settlement. The allegation was...
Who did?
Wait, dude. Jeffrey.
Yeah, let's go.
Veronica.
So you said I paid $1 million to the woman who accused me falsely. I want you to quote that from the New Yorker. And if you can't, admit you're a liar.
Senor.
Silence. Profound silence.
Dude.
This guy is such a dumbass. Like, so fucking stupid. Oh my god. He's like, oh, here's the quote. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein. Like, that's not Alan Dershowitz.
Dude, stop it. Stop.
Guilty silence.
Dude, it is guys. Yes, here it is. Oh,
no, it isn't. No, it isn't. You're lying.
Oh, here it is. In April 2016, the case settled. There was no such settlement. With the press reported that the agreement.
What case?
Wait. The press reported that the agreement included a financial arrangement implying that Jeffrey's team had paid it. In fact, Dershowitz's insurance company had paid Jeffrey's lawyers. In negotiations, the parties has discussed a figure of nearly $1 million, with $50,000 going to Dershowitz, which would allow him to claim a payment. The final amount has not been disclosed.
He is so fucking dumb. Oh my god, this guy is gonna get sued. He's gonna have to pay a Jew at least a few $100,000.
You know it. A, you know it. Number B, this had nothing to do with Virginia.
You want to go and
this had nothing to do with the woman who accused me. This was a lawsuit between lawyers, and it had nothing to do with this accusation. Zero. You made up the whole story. The New Yorker never reported it.
Pay the lawyers?
They also paid me. There was a mutual settlement where both sides paid some to each other. Each of us received payments covering our legal fees, and this was about lawyers. This was not about any accusation.
You know what, guys?
Against me.
I invite everybody to go to read the New Yorker article and see
so do I.
the pattern
I've never seen anybody like this retarded in my fucking life. Like, Alan Dershowitz does sue people. He sued Mohammed Ajab. I think in the settlement, Mohammed Ajab had to pay him like at least $100,000. It was a good chunk of change. And then, like, he literally reads the article, doesn't make any mention about Alan Dershowitz having to pay one of his accusers. And then, like, he still keeps doubling down over and over and over again, knowing he's making it up.
You read it out loud. It's false.
So, let me get involved now. Let me say something now.
Let's get back to the merits. We know he's a liar. We know he's not a funny comedian.
Come on, liar, anti-Semitic. It's the same thing.
All right, let me pull it back to the bigger picture.
Why would I believe you if you have lied many times?
Let me pull it back. Alan, I want to just talk to you about something you said earlier, because there's been a bit of confusion about this, I think, in the public domain. You said in the end that the settlement that Epstein made pertained to a 21-year-old and a 17-year-old. But many of the contemporaneous reports about this settlement refer to a 14-year-old girl who Epstein had paid for a massage.
That was not part of the case.
So can you explain?
That was not part of the case. The indictment.
But that precipitated the investigation, right?
Let me tell you what happened. A 14-year-old girl was heard over the phone talking to another friend about whether or not she could get a massage from an older man. That precipitated the investigation. But the investigation culminated not in any kind of an indictment regarding that 14-year-old. There was no evidence of it. And so in the end, the 14-year-old claim disappeared. The only evidence that they were able to prove to get a grand jury indictment was a 17-year-old and 10-month person and a woman in her 20s, an adult who has agency. Both of them in the indictment were called prostitutes. And he was indicted for paying money to soliciting two prostitutes, one of whom was 17 years old and 10 months. The 14-year-old was never part of the indictment in the case.
Legally, okay, but Alan, to be clear, the 17-year-old was a legal minor.
Of course, and that's why he pleaded guilty to it and went to jail for it. He deserved to go to jail.
And do you
for
believe?
17 and 10
do you
month
believe?
Old. Yeah.
So I interviewed one of the legal team on behalf of some of these girls involved in that case, who said that he was offended about the characterization of any minor as a prostitute.
Well, then he should complain to the prosecution. It's what the prosecution put in the indictment. We didn't write the indictment. The prosecution put it in the indictment. They did an investigation. They found out that these were young women who were coming for pay, were being paid money to give massages. They defined that as prostitution. It wasn't us who did that. That was the prosecutors who did that. So that's all.
But when you say he wasn't convicted, okay. But when you say he wasn't convicted as a paedophile, he was though. If you do a deal that involves a minor.
Look, you can quibble over words, but medical definition of pedophile.
Well, no, it's a legal definition, isn't it?
He pleaded. No, that's not the legal definition. The legal definition is underage. The word pedophile is never used legally for anybody who's 17 and 10 months. But we're quibbling. He pleaded guilty to 17 and 10 months. He was guilty of that. It's a despicable, terrible thing. He may have had sex with even younger people, but he was never convicted of that. He was never charged with that. He probably would have been charged with it had he stayed alive, but he wasn't. But let's stick to the facts. He pleaded guilty only to 2 charges of soliciting a 17, 10-month-old and an above-age person for prostitution. That's what the state charged him with. That's what he pleaded guilty to. That's what the federal government agreed would be the deal that would terminate the federal prosecution. That's what happened. He hated him for that.
If you have any sexual relations with a minor, yeah, but Alan, if you, I mean, talk about quibbling, but if you have sexual relations with a minor, you're a paedophile.
Were the women he was charged with considered minors at the time?
No, well, I don't want to fight with that, because you can call him whatever you want. That's fine. You call him a pedophile, but no medical doctor, no psychologist will tell you that a 17-year-old 10-month woman who's taking money to give massages is subject to the other person being called a pedophile. But let's not get into that. Call him a pedophile. That's fine. He pleaded guilty to charges of having sex for money with a minor. Yes, he did that.
Okay, so she would have been a minor. Where were the charges laid? Like what state? Or is it like, I don't know how some of the shit works. It's really weird because like each state has their own age of consent laws. So yeah, it was state court that he was charged in. Manhattan, so New York. Or sorry, no. The 08 charge, that was Florida. I think Florida's 18. Yeah, 18. Yeah.
That. And he did much worse than that. And he was a despicable human being who deserves no pity whatsoever. But that doesn't give anybody license to simply lie about what happened. For example, one of the papers in Israel, when talking about Ehud Barak, said he was convicted of having sex with a 14-year-old. No, he wasn't. He was investigated for that. And the investigation terminated with no prosecution for a 14-year-old. Did he have sex with a 14-year-old? I have no idea. Maybe the prosecution has an idea. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. But it's not true that he was convicted of that. Never.
So what is your assessment, Alan Dershowitz, now of what Jeffrey Epstein did? And why is it that no really high-profile American men in particular have been brought to account for what was going on?
Well, one name has been. One of the names that was recently disclosed by Congress people yesterday was Leslie Wexner. And I think it's very appropriate to investigate Leslie Wexner. He went back to Jeffrey Epstein many, many, many years. Let me give you my assessment of what happened. Look, there were real victims, horrible victims, people who should never, never have been put through this, people who are underage. And I have tremendous compassion for these victims. But then there's another category of people, women who are 25, who came back over and over again and received $150, $200. Then they went and they recruited 14 and 15-year-olds for Epstein, and they were paid to recruit for Epstein. These people should also be investigated. They may have been victims, but they were also perpetrators. It's a lot grayer than the black and white of victimization and survivalization and all of that. It's much more complex than that. But there's no justifying what Epstein did. It was terrible. It was awful. I wish I had never laid eyes on that SOB. He's an awful, awful human being. That's the job of a criminal defense lawyer, to defend and get the best deal. I thought I got the best deal. He thought I got a terrible deal.
Bassem Youssef, what is your wider view about the Epstein scandal and the, so far, very limited accountability for other people involved?
Well, you see, I'm actually like the FBI just dumped millions of unredacted or redacted Epstein files on the public and said, you know what? Here you go. Have fun. It's like a scavenger hunt. Like you expect, like kind of like a TikTok challenge. Can you find a pedophile? You have the FBI, you have the DOJ, you have unlimited resources, unlimited power, unlimited budgets. This is the biggest sex trafficking scandal in modern history. Billionaires, politicians, royalty, and all hanging out on pedophile island. And the U.S. government responds like, hey guys, let the internet figure it out. What is this?
Let me see if we can actually find Alan Dershowitz lawsuit. Can't wait to see Discovery on Alan Dershowitz. There wouldn't need to be Discovery on him. Like, for what? Oh my god. Stupid. Alright, well, he's probably gonna sue. Like, he's actually definitely gonna sue.
A group project? Are you serious? You want me to do your job? You want some guy on Reddit cross-referencing flight logs at 2 a.m. while he's eating Cheetos? Like, you want TikTokers playing a game of Clue? Hey, it was Prince Andrew in the having a massage with the undergirl. What is this? It is not the job of private citizens to figure out clues. I don't understand. Is the FBI too busy to do their job? Here's what should have happened. They should have released the name. They should have arrested predators. They should have hold the tribes. You know, like a functioning justice system, right? But instead you give us 4 million trillion documents with no index, no categorization, redactions everywhere. Then say, hey, good luck with that, guys. Like, let us know if you find anything. Wallahi azim, not even a third world country dictatorship would do that to us. In third world countries, they would release nothing. Keep us in the dark, you know, like a self-respected dictatorship. But this choose your own adventure bullshit, this like figure it out on your own. What kind of service is this? Like, I mean, the government takes half of my money so I can do its job and then sends the other half to Israel. I mean, this is just like dysfunctional. You know, and I'm just like, you know, and my wider view of this, you know, my first time I appeared with you peers, I talked about like how Israel is like a narcissistic psychopath, and it went viral because people felt it. Because you see, narcissists don't just lie to you; they create an entire alternate reality.
This is literally what he's doing.
and pull you into it. That's why it's called the narcissist shared reality. The narcissist builds an alternate, highly controlled reality and pulls other people into it. And in that false reality, the narcissists are always, they're special, they're misunderstood, they are victimized. Yeah? And Israel does this on a national...
Yeah, this is literally what he's doing. That's what Palestinians do.
Level for decades, right? They have told us we're the victim, we have no choice, it's self-defense, And in the same thing now with Epstein, it's a shared reality. Oh, maybe he's a Russian spy, maybe he is. It's like it's right in front of our eyes, and we have to go through these like mental gymnastics and figure it out. It's right there. Nothing is gray, Mr. Dershowitz. Nothing is.
Genocide has a.
Okay, you know what? I can just like log out because
genocide is not fighting a war. You're allowing me to respond, please. Genocide is fighting a war.
You responded. It's my turn to speak.
Let me respond, please. Are you going to let me respond?
No, you didn't let me respond.
So here's the point.
Okay.
You're not going to let me respond.
You know what? This is just like it's.
Let me respond.
No, I will not let you respond because you didn't let me talk.
You're not going to let me respond.
And I will not let me talk. It's just like childish at this point.
So we can't continue then. If he won't let me talk, we can't continue.
You are not letting me talk.
Filibuster me by his lies. I let you talk. Now he wants. Now the man who runs the show wants to give me an opportunity to respond. Will you give me an opportunity to respond? Let me explain to you what genocide means. Genocide is the willful killing of an entire population in order to wipe out the population. The way the Germans and the Nazis took little babies from the Isle of Rhodes, put them on trains, transported them to the gas chambers to kill them, unrelated to war efforts. Genocide is not dropping an atomic bomb in Hiroshima. It's not bombing Berlin. It's not bombing Japan. And it's not what Israel did in Gaza when Hamas hid behind civilians. And Israel, notwithstanding that, they had the best ratio of combatants to civilians of any war in recent times. Even if you take all the Hamas figures, it's less than 3-to-1, probably closer to 1-to-1. At worst, it's 2-to-1. Most wars, it's 10-to-1 or 8-to-1. So there's not even a plausible claim of genocide. Only anti-Semites and people who are willing to engage in a blood libel are prepared to compare what Israel did defending itself in Gaza with what Nazis did in Germany, killing 6 million Jews, Roma people, people from all countries. Those were genocide. What the Muslims did in Turkey, killing the Armenians, that was genocide. What's going on now in Syria against the Kurdish people, that's genocide. These aren't war-fighting defenses. That's genocide. But when a country tries to defend its civilians by killing terrorists who are hiding behind civilians and civilians die, you could call it a lot of things. But the one thing you cannot call it is genocide and maintain your credibility as a decent human being. That is a blood libel to call it genocide.
Okay, you've all right. You both made your
I didn't make any points. I really didn't make any points.
Closely these days, Polymarket asked, will anyone be jailed over the Epstein disclosures? It reached a high of 48% at the beginning of the month, but it's now down to just 17%. And the Trump administration did, of course, promise, including on this show, that we'd see many prosecutions. It does seem quite extraordinary that now it's looking more and more likely that nobody will be jailed other than a woman, Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, Bassem, you can have a final response to... Well, we need to see it, I think.
But the billionaires, the people in power, they...
After the election, made it clear they were going to be totally... Thank you very much.
Oh, sure, have you no...
Well, that's good to know that Alan Dershowitz is going to sue Bassem Youssef. Fucking hate that dipshit.
What happens when one of the biggest fitness scammers of all time gets laughed out of the fitness community? Well, they start a spiritual cult that's also a pyramid scheme, of course, allegedly, in my opinion, for legal reasons. Yes, ladies and gentle Zorps, today we're talking about Mr. Six-Pack Shortcuts and his new spiritual grift. In my previous video where I went over OG fitness influencers, I briefly glanced over Mike Chang's Flow60 website, and what really intrigued me to investigate it further is that on the front page, it clearly states that Mr. Chang's spiritual program is practiced in over 270 countries around the world, which sounds like an impressive number on the surface, until you realize the fact that there are only 195 countries in the world currently. So either something fishy is going on here, or this man meditated so hard that he opened up a new dimensional plane of existence in which he found the remaining 80 countries. And let me tell you, the further down this rabbit hole I went, the weirder things got, which is exactly why I'm taking you on this ride with me, so you can rediscover Mike Chang, the biggest fitness grifter of all time.
I started reading this book called The Greatest Salesman. It's not really much about selling, but what it was really teaching was about imprinting the mind.
If you're young enough to know what cranking 90s is, you probably weren't around for the Mike Chang era of YouTube. And honestly, good for you. You probably saved yourself quite a few brain cells in the process. But even if you were around and you need a quick refresher, Mr. Chang started a project called Six-Pack Shortcuts, which yes, does sound like a fake infomercial scam that you would find in GTA 5 or something. But no, that was the actual real name of the business. And
what size needles do you use to inject test? Do you use a different needle to draw versus to inject?
Yes, I use 22 gauge needle, 1 inch to draw, and then I use a 30 gauge 1 inch needle to inject. Thanks for the donation, my dick's erect.
to my surprise, many normies didn't see it as a complete scam right from the jump. Now, of course, I'm not trying to say that people are stupid, which of course I know somebody will argue with me in the comments about, but the truth is the majority of these online fitness grifters prey on people who are desperate for results. You know, people who are at the lowest point in their lives, people who are vulnerable, people who are victims. And keep this in mind because it will be very important once we get into the whole cult talk later. I won't dive too deep into the actual workouts that Mr. Chang.
What the media won't tell you about Gaza.
Instagram took down one of my videos and even put
Okay, I'll take a look at that in a minute. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Was selling back in the day, because I think you can imagine what kind of stuff a company called Six Pack Shortcuts would be putting out. I mean, it's your typical at-home fat-burning ab workouts, and if you throw in a few towel rows for your back, you basically got yourself the Six Pack Shortcuts curriculum. Obviously, back in the day, as soon as the bigger fitness creators caught wind of this bullshit, they immediately started parodying and making fun of Mike Chang for his absurd claims, which, if anything, just sort of made him an even bigger name in the fitness space. Now, after years of getting bullied by the broader online fitness community, and of course, let's not forget, after years of collecting millions of dollars from his little online fitness scheme, Mike Chang decided that he had enough. Around 2015, Mr. Chang would leave Six Pack Shortcuts, and he proceeded to go down one of the weirdest paths that I've ever seen a fitness influencer go down.
I learned a lot of things in the past 12 months, and I'm ready to go and just pour everything on you guys on what I've learned, and share what I've learned, and hopefully it can make a big impact in your life that, like it did in mine.
September 13th, 2015, the Mike Chang channel was born. I mean, it was truly one of the worst events to happen in the history of all Septembers. And while at first the video seemed, dare I say, normal, this would quickly go on to change over the coming years. I mean, it started innocent enough. It was just Mike talking to the camera, showing people how to make protein ice cream, or telling them why feeling good is, well, good. But things wouldn't stay normal for long. Even in these early days, Mike would upload strange videos that indicated that something was off. My personal favorite is the one of him just singing in the car with no music playing on the radio or nothing, just kind of raw dogging it. Hey. What I found even more hilarious was the top comment that is singing voice shortcuts, and then the only reply to this comment is the guy who made the original comment replying to himself saying, haha, my man. I just thought that was funny. Anyways, now while these early videos were weird, things started to spiral around July 1st of 2019, where Mike uploaded a video titled House Tour, New Home in Bali. For my red-blooded Americans watching, Bali is an island in Indonesia, and it will become a very important part of the story later on. What's the deal with celebrities and islands? I'm sorry about that, let's continue. In this video, Mike clearly states that he will be staying here for only a month.
Just got to Ubud here in Bali, and we'll be here for the next month and a half.
Now, we know this not to be true because on the 5th of February of 2020, he would upload another house tour in Bali where he would show off his new villa. I mean, I just can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Mike Chang is a moto taxi driver in Indonesia. Hey, shout out to all my Latin viewers. Os quiero mucho, tío. YouTube Brazil, I just don't speak Portuguese. Brazilian editor, put something nice on the screen from the Brazilians.
Fake Natty!
Anyways, this new house tour raises some questions. First of all, where the hell is he getting all this money from to buy these houses? I mean, he left Six Pack Shortcuts years ago, and his new channel is getting Zorp-type viewership. And let me tell you right now, Zorp ain't living in a mansion. I'm currently in my closet recording this voiceover, so the audio quality is better for you guys. But the second question this raises is, why Bali? What the hell is Unk doing over there? And the answer to that second question is where things start to become weird. The money thing is at least simple to explain. In one of the interviews he did recently, he said that the year he left Six Pack Shortcuts, they did $13 million in revenue.
When I left, we were doing a little over 13 million per year.
And let me remind you, that was the last year where they kind of started to fall off. So you can just imagine what kind of money peak Six Pack Shortcuts was making. Please subscribe to Zorp so I can make $13 million and start a cult of my own. I promise it will be a peaceful cult. Just subscribe. Now, as for what he's doing in Bali, well, this is where we get into his new spiritual grift. And this is where stuff starts to get a bit kooky. Zorplings, if a man dressed in all white invited you to his remote island, would you say yes? I mean, I sure as hell know my answer, and I think both Diddy and Epstein have recently taught us not to trust people wearing all white and to not go to random islands when invited. But apparently, not everybody got the memo. Flow 60 is Mike Chang's new spiritual practice that will lead you to inner peace with 5 easy training methods. I guess you can call it like a shortcut to inner peace, inner peace shortcuts. I mean, why spend years trying to reach inner peace on your own when this dude has it all figured out? Hell, it's just one small payment of $97. I mean, what a deal. This man whittled down inner peace to just 5 hours worth of lessons. I mean, it took Buddha 6 years and 49 days of meditation to reach enlightenment, but Mike can teach to you for $100 in 5 hours. I mean, as the saying goes, if you can't explain it simply, you don't know it well enough. And if we follow this logic, it would appear that Mike Chang knows inner peace better than anybody. Now, while we will get into his Bali retreat, where you can go and stay on Mike Chang's island for 7 days for a small price of anywhere between $4,500 and $7,000, I do want to first quickly mention some strange things that I found on his website that kind of show the true nature of this business. I also think noticing these red flags will be useful.
Has to be mostly old women who like Asian dudes.
for everybody watching this video if you're looking out for scams in the real world. And the first and the most obvious red flag is that Mike Chang treats you like a victim. And no, this isn't just me paraphrasing the about section of the website, but literally on the front page of the website, one of the first things you see is this little graphic of how the program works, and near the bottom where he shows the 4 steps to this transformation, he literally describes you as a victim in phase 1.
Yeah, this is definitely made for women.
You might be a super successful guy that just wants a simple workout and meditation routine, but that's what big society wants you to think. Mike Chang knows that deep down inside, you're just a victim. Treating you, the buyer, as a poor victim that needs help is a very common thing in cults and in online grifting, oddly enough. I mean, Scientology gets people in by offering...
What are you taking currently? What mental/mood effects did you notice from the different non-test compounds?
Just taking testosterone and boldenone, and I'm doing growth hormone on training days. And boldenone gives me a calming, relaxing feeling. A lot of people report having depression on boldenone. They have a more like suppressed mood. Just kind of makes me relaxed, and I just feel better. And my sleep tends to be better when I add in boldenone too, I've noticed. I've also done Masteron and Anavar. Masteron just feels a lot like test, only it's a bit more activating. Just gives you a bit more energy, and similar with Anavar, it kind of feels like you took a bunch of caffeine, like an energy drink. Thanks for the donation, though. My dick's erect.
Offering self-help and public speaking courses. Online self-help grifters like Andrew Tate will go on and on about how today's men are weak and left behind by society. But don't you worry, he's here to help. Of course, only if you give him $50 per month for access to his shitty Discord server, and if you share his TikToks on your page. This pattern here is called a funnel, my Zorplings. I mean, you give people something basic for free, i.e. YouTube videos, TikToks, or in this case, a free practice. This builds a bit more trust, a parasocial relationship, and it makes people feel like, oh my god, this guy cares about me. He's giving me free advice, and he's the only one that sees my problem, and he's here to fix it. Once you have this parasocial relationship, you can sell them on your main product, in this case the $100 course with only 5 hours of actual content. And then if this person was gullible enough to give you $100 on a product that's not worth that, in my opinion, well, now you got them. Now you can upsell them on your big product, which is the $7,000 Bali retreat. Scientology gets you in with free personality tests, then cheap self-help courses, and before you know it, you've wasted all your money in the church and you lost your friends and your skateboarding channel in the process. The mechanisms are the same, the packaging is just different. The second gigantic red flag is, in my opinion, for legal reasons, the blatant pyramid scheme that's being run in the coaching section of this website. When you click on the page, there are 2 big lists that pop up and basically boil down to, if you're cool and the bestest and the smartest, you maybe want to sign up and become a coach. And maybe you wouldn't want to become a coach if you're Many normies didn't see it as a complete...
That was my keyboard. That was weird.
Coaches, so they can also coach their friends to become coaches. And well, you see where this is going. Any quote-unquote job that requires you to pay for your own training is most likely, in my opinion, for legal reasons, a pyramid scheme, or as the liberals are making me say, a multi-level marketing business. Back in my day, we just called a scam, but no, now you gotta be nice to not hurt the scammer's feelings. Listen, if you're working for a company as an employee, you are providing value for that company, which means that they should train you for free.
Some Joey for you.
Oh my god. Oh.
How cute.
Maui's so big and round and orange. Like an orange.
They are. What was that?
Oh my goodness.
Are you allergic to Joey?
Can see Joey's tum-tum.
Look how cute you are.
Oh my god, you can see his sentience right there.
You are so good looking.
He's really good looking.
You're beautiful.
He's really beautiful.
Okay,
Wow.
well, I guess that's all you're going to do.
Yeah.
You're not going to perform?
No. They're tired kitties. Those are good cats. Thanks for the donation, even though.
free, so that in turn you can provide value and generate them profits. It's not the other way around. By the way, I'm not saying that paying for education or for a course to learn a certain skill is a scam. The difference in those is that they don't promise you direct employment after. You know, employment where, in my personal opinion, you most likely won't be making any money. I mean, just look at how many coaches they have on this page. Do you think anybody's booking these people from this website? All these quote-unquote coaches have 20 spots open, and I think you can come to your own conclusions on why that is. While this coaching section is by far the biggest red flag on the website, little ones can be found all over the place. One that comes to mind immediately is the fact that his partner left her entire life behind only a few short months after meeting Mike. And listen, people can fall in love quickly, I'm not doubting that, but I've also watched enough Rotten Mango videos to know that, yeah, this smells a bit fishy. Another red flag pops up when you read the description of what the program does. Mike goes on to say, and I quote, "The program stimulates the lymphatic drainage, increases blood flow, and opens energy channels throughout the meridians, clearing out stored stress, toxins, and emotional pressure. Each phase balances your nervous system and harmonizes your..."
All dumb, single, 40-year-old plus women.
Mind and body as you move deeper towards inner peace. I mean, geez, I don't know if this was written by Mike Chang or by Mike Israetel at this point. Every pseudo-intellectual grifter will try to use complicated technical terms to convince you that they possess some secret knowledge that you just don't have yet. And of course, they'll share this knowledge with you for a small price of $99. Just like how Mike Israetel would rather say it induces hypertrophic adaptation in the skeletal muscle tissue instead of saying it makes the muscles grow, is the same way Mike Chang would rather say it stimulates the lymphatic system rather than saying it helps you be more chill throughout the day. If you're actually here to share your knowledge with the people, using terms they don't understand, and even worse, not explaining them right after, is not only counterproductive, but it just signals to what your true intentions were in the first place. Not to teach, but to flex your supposed knowledge on them and to gain authority. Now, if you hang around this page for long enough, you might see the big ad for his Bali retreat. And by this point, two things might come to your mind. The first one being, holy smokes, Cubes, this looks like a cult, in my personal opinion for legal reasons. And the second might be, who the fuck is signing up for this crap? He barely gets any views on his YouTube channel nowadays. And you know, while that is completely true, I mean, Mike Chang's fall off needs to be studied, you could also say the man still has a cult-like following nowadays online. Pun very much so intended. If you're a normal person with a normal functioning brain, it would take you like 5 seconds to see how culty some of the vocabulary used in this Bali retreat promotional video is.
Many people don't feel very safe going in, and the community really allows people to feel like I am around like-minded people just like me.
It's like a family. It's like everybody comes together, everyone's hugging, everyone's sharing their experiences, everybody comes together. We're a brotherhood, a sisterhood, you know, of a family.
But if you're already on the island, well, you might be just too far gone to understand why this sounds so concerning. No, Mr. Zorp. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a man that's constantly walking around barefooted, dressed in all white, that goes around claiming that he has some secret knowledge to inner peace. What I'm trying to say is, I don't see how paying him thousands of dollars to go to his island to perform weird rituals with him and listen to his voice and teachings 24/7 is concerning at all. Yeah, I'm legitimately worried at this point. Do I Zorp the inner peace within you, my friend? Just watch the fruits of my...
Yeah, no.
Restrictions on my account. The video was about restaurants in Gaza. I uploaded it about a month ago, and it hit 600,000 views. No violence, no weapons, no harsh words, no hate. I even said in the video that yes, there is suffering in Gaza. And before I share my opinion, here is the video in fast forward. What are the top 5 restaurants in Gaza? Well, there are a lot of them. But before we dive in, just one quick thing. All the restaurants you are about to see are open right now in summer 2025. This is not satire. It is not AI. Every single clip and image shown here comes directly from the restaurant's own Instagram account, posted in the last 2 days or weeks. Let's get started. Craving pizza? Head to O2. Love chocolate? Try Happy Chocolate. Ice cream? Hamada or pistachio? Got you covered. Seafood by the Sea? Roma restaurant is open for business. So here is the question. If this is what Gaza looks like in 2025, is that really what famine looks like? Is that really what genocide looks like? Yes, people suffer in Gaza, but Hamas and Western media are selling you a narrative, one that ignores a real famine in Yemen, and the real genocide of Christians happening across the Middle East. Here is the truth. Everything you see coming out of Gaza is what Hamas allows you to see, and everything you're not seeing, that's the real story. Want to see the full video with all the proof and links? Comment full below and I will send you the full video. On YouTube, I added all the links to the restaurants. And yes, they go straight.
Future Roid Cell donate 220. Random as fuck. Being an extremely nice and understanding person who's non-confrontational. It's got me fucking rolled over at work. It's better to be an asshole than an understanding guy. Literally everyone ends you taking advantage of you. Why am I like this? Just stop being a pussy, dude. You just gotta realize that unless you're talking to a cat or a frog or a duck, Everyone's a fucking asshole. So, yeah, literally everyone's a fucking cunt, and even if they're not, who gives a shit? That's their problem, their battle that they have to fight with. So you don't owe anybody anything. You don't have to do anything, any favors. You don't have to be understanding of anyone. They can learn to just deal with their own fucking problems. Thanks for the donation, though, Future Roid Cell.
Right to the official Instagram accounts of the restaurants. It is crazy. The mainstream media never shows you that there are restaurants in Gaza. I showed them, I even added proof with Instagram links, and still my video gets taken down. Totally insane. And what makes it worse is that right after I posted it, it turned out that a lot of those so-called starvation photos in the biggest newspapers, New York Times, BBC, were actually kids with genetic diseases, or just stage pictures. So they spread fake misery, and when I show the truth, I get censored. And by the way, since I posted that video, even more restaurants have opened in Gaza. Let me show you. Look at Metaco Cafe. Hopefully showing you this won't get me banned again. Maybe Instagram deleted my video because I showed too much chocolate. Maybe there is some secret chocolate limit on videos that I didn't know about. Anyway, I will drop all the links below this video. In fact, I will add dozens of them. Restaurants that are active right now in Gaza. And honestly, and one more thing, I wasn't even allowed to appeal Instagram's decision. I'm pretty sure it was a coordinated campaign by pro-Palestinian activists. Enough people reported it, and Instagram just took it down. What they fear most is the truth. That's why they post pictures of sick children, fake AI images, or recycled photos from Syria and Yemen. And that's why they try to silence me. So please help.
Yep.
But fat.
Oh wait, that's old.
I was born biologically female. I began transitioning and taking hormones when I was 18 years old. Growing up, I couldn't pinpoint what my issues were, and then I realized that it might be a gender issue. When I turned 18, I did go to Planned Parenthood. I just stated that I had gender dysphoria.
This is like every single one of these stories. They literally didn't know if they had gender dysphoria or not, and then they were just like, let's just say I do, and then they go to a doctor and tell them and like try to trick them into getting the doctor to think they have gender dysphoria. And then like they end up blaming the fucking doctor for it when you lied to them. Like, it's so bizarre. It's like lying to a doctor that you got bit by a venomous snake, and then they give you like some anti-venom, and then the anti-venom, like, I don't know, like hurts you in some way, or whatever treatment they use, like harms you. And then they're like, I didn't actually get bitten by a snake. Why did you give me the fucking anti-venom? It's like, you said you did.
Dysphoria, and they gave me testosterone a week later. Before I went on hormone therapy, I wasn't required to see any therapist or any sort of a doctor at all. So about a year and a half after I was on hormones, I decided to see a therapist about getting approval for top surgery. I walked in on one appointment for half an hour, and then she emailed my insurance for approval, just like that. Even at
You're the one who asked for it. Like, I love how the only fucking people on planet Earth who are complaining about being able to get what they want from a doctor are these fucking crazy detransitioners. Like, it's psychotic. It's like going to the doctor. Man, I'm having these irregular heartbeats all the time, and I'm like nervous about it. Like, could you do anything for me? And then they prescribe you a beta blocker. And then you have a side effect from the beta blocker because you lied about having fucking heart problems, and then you blame the fucking doctor for giving you the medication for the fucking condition that you said you fucking had. Like, it's insane. Jay donated $2. What are your thoughts on this? Like, and I fucking love how they're acting like oh, well, we're all retarded. We're stupid as fuck. Obviously, we need some, like, extra fucking step when it comes to people gender transitioning to make sure that the patient isn't lying to the fucking doctor. The only fucking disease on the planet where, like, that has to be considered.
They were testing a cup of white rice, but people tell me it's the same as eating a cup of sugar. Let's see what this does to my blood sugar. This one was crazy. Look at this. Started at 114, went up to 250, stayed there for 2 hours. Rice is almost like sugar. 136 point spike. Today we're testing a cup.
Okay. Apparently, nutrients are bad for you. Okay, thanks for the donation, Jay.
At this point, when I was passing as a man, I still had these doubts in the back of my mind that said, what if you're wrong? What if you made a mistake? In the end, I decided not to do the surgery. At that point that I decided to detransition and live my life as a woman again. Even as an adult, it took me a long time to figure out who I was and who I wanted to be. Kids especially need to see a therapist before making any sort of permanent medical decisions like going on hormone blockers and surgeries especially. I mean, they don't even know what they want for dinner the next day, let alone what gender they are. The biggest mistake that I made was that I did not get the right amount of therapy or medical advice needed. These days, if you tell a parent if their child thinks that they might be transgender or has gender dysphoria, to wait and really consider it and maybe seek other therapy.
She's saying this, and the only argument she has in favor of this idea is, I lied to my doctors. And maybe other people are crazy liars like me. Like these detransitioners, always the same fucking story. They did not have gender dysphoria. They knew they didn't have gender dysphoria. They did it anyway. They deliberately lied to their doctors. They got the treatment that they asked for. Then they regretted it because they're fucking idiots. And then they want to make it harder for everyone else to get the fucking treatments they need because they try to scare everybody into thinking, maybe your kid or other people are stupid, crazy, insane morons like me.
Walter, I apologize if this is a sensitive subject, but I just noticed on your left hand that you're missing a finger.
Oh, damn it, I dropped it again.
This was crazy to me. I did not realize the Black Power Ranger was missing a finger. Never at any point in my childhood did I ever notice the Black Ranger was missing a finger. Eyes little donate tellers, is he right about you?
I want you to my critique of this guy's fitness advice. It's the worst. It's the worst fitness advice on the internet. I mean, at least you can give him credit for this. He's an idiot about everything. He's an idiot about video games. He's an idiot about politics. He's an idiot about human sexuality, dating, and romance. Well, guess what? He's also an idiot about.
This is the guy who broke up with his girlfriend because she cheated on him, then claimed he has this massive, like, 9-inch penis, and it's so easy for him to pleasure women and give them, like, 100 orgasms during sex. And all these beautiful, like, women are throwing themselves at him. And then he ended up getting back with the girlfriend who cheated on him a few months later. Like, this guy is a loser, cucked fucking simp with no self-respect, and he knows his prospects of getting any more pussy are practically zero, and he gets back with the crazy cheating bitch ex-girlfriend. Like, and then, yeah, he's talking shit. He doesn't know anything about romance. Well, yeah, please, let me learn from the fucking expert on, letting women get away with whatever the fuck they want and, like, fucking other dudes. Son Goku donated $2. Is it me, or is basically all female fitness content masquerading as softcore porn on the internet? Well, yeah, pretty much most of it. There's weird niches in the male space that's dedicated for like gay dudes. It's the teenager bloat maxing shit. There's a lot of fucking I can't remember what the one dude's name is, but there's like this weird sexual fetish where gay dudes want to see like a teenage kid get like massive and fat. There's that one douchebag who's just fat as fuck, and I think he's 19 right now. Like, he has some impressive lifts, but he also uses like weird equipment, you know, like the elbow wraps and stuff and the slingshot on the bench. But yeah, I swear it has to be a sexual fetish. There's also that other kid who's a teenager, and people think he's on steroids because out of nowhere he gained like 80 pounds and he's like benching over 400 or at least close to 400, something like that. Thanks for the donation though, Sengoku. But oh wait, is this another one? Like, this is just workout equipment. I wouldn't call this softcore porn. It's just what chicks wear. Yeah, that's not anywhere near as bad as other shit I've seen.
Weightlifting, and that's why he's constantly crippling himself in the gym. Why he's giving himself all these injuries. You know.
Right. So since you're such an expert on weight training, why don't you bench over 400 pounds without ever getting injured? Love to see it. Like, again, when you get to those sorts of weights, yeah, injury risk is just far more likely.
He says himself, you can quote him on this. He describes himself as mentally disabled. He describes himself as being like an anorexic and having
I never said that.
Really serious, mental and emotional problems that he puts into bodybuilding, that he himself is dysfunctional in his approach to weight loss and muscle gain.
Okay, so this is Eisel. Behold the physique. And this is me, so yeah, I don't know anything about training, but this weak, chubby, middle-aged man who takes his cheating girlfriend back is more knowledgeable about weight training.
Like, he talks about his own mental and psychological problems. Now they warp his sex life. Now they warp his engagement. Okay, Richard, so you spelled it out for us. So why the hell should anyone take your advice about
let's see, because my advice works.
Health, diet, fitness, bodybuilding, anything, But I mean, this
Eisel's dumb as shit. Like, he's so stupid.
Yeah. Look, if you find any cushion, mail it to me.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, let me know.
Well, we told the alligator story.
Yes, exactly. We did. Well, you know what? When I was a kid, I found a gun in my house. I thought it was a toy. It was a Derringer. Derringers are like those little small guns.
Derringers
like
are cool.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool unless you're 4 years old and you don't know what you're doing.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess his mom probably was the one with the Derringer. Because, like, for a dude to carry around a Derringer, he's black, too. So, like, black dude carrying around a Derringer, don't really see that. So I'm guessing it's not his dad's. I'm assuming it's probably his mom who's a dumb bitch and left her gun, like, on her fucking bed.
So found a Derringer, and my sister and I argued about it because we thought it was a cap gun. And we were trying to shoot each other. The safety was on it. And then I took it from my sister.
Jeez.
Guarantee her I was going to fix it and just be patient and we'll shoot it in a moment. My sister went and told my mother on me. Mom, Walt took the gun from me. My mother said, what gun? And at that point, I pulled back the safety, pulled back the latch on it, and it wouldn't go back down. And I thought I'd broken it, and I was trying to fix it, and I just pulled the trigger, and it went off in my hand. Nah.
I'm assuming his mom was thrilled when that happened.
Lost my finger. Yeah.
Damn.
Shattered the bone at 4 years old.
Mhm.
If anybody finds it, if you let me know.
Yeah, let me know. Yeah. Probably wouldn't fit anymore.
It wouldn't fit. I don't know. It kind of be weird.
Yeah.
But I can't say that it was a problem. Actually, it was a benefit in some ways. I wasn't able to learn to type because the teacher didn't want to give me extra attention. I wasn't able to go to the military because you can't lose two digits, two joints. You can't lose two joints and be in the military.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think I heard of that
because I
one.
almost went to the Air Force.
I was in the Air Force for a
Oh, see,
couple
look
years.
at that.
Yeah.
They were like, sorry, son, you can't join the military. You're missing two joints. I was like, but what? I mean, it's not stopping me. But
Yeah.
I wasn't able to, so not type. I tried to learn piano, but it was difficult. And guitar was difficult. I needed a left-handed guitar. But it did keep bullies away. Because oddly enough, the girls loved the fact that I was missing a finger. That come up to me in class and go, "Excuse me, somebody told me that you're missing a finger." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And they were like, "Can I see it?" And I would go, "Yeah." And I put my hand out on the table, and they would reach down and touch it, and then I'd move it, and they go, and they're like, "Go ahead, you can touch it." And they would touch it, and they were like, "Oh, that feels cool." And then they were intrigued. But the boys were like, "No, man, get that away from me. No, man, hell no."
Yeah,
no.
it's catching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they want to catch the missing fingers. So one time I was walking to school, and at that point, when I was younger, we had safety boys. I think, they would have different kids that would volunteer to help people walk across the street.
That is some highly irresponsible parenting. Imagine just leaving a gun out for a kid to find. Like, you have to be so fucking stupid.
There was this little dog that just popped up, and she was as surprised as we were. She was not having a part of it. She just bolted. I honestly didn't expect to see her again because we didn't think she'd survive.
It's a rugged place, Kangaroo Island, on the North Coast particularly.
Little sausage dog survived 529 days? Goodness.
You okay?
Wonder what he was eating. Wonder if he found bugs.
Valerie would have been 4 months old when I met Josh. Valerie.
I'm a nurse at the Kangaroo.
Up.
Adelaide newspaper. And literally overnight, for some reason, that story was picked up, and that's when the chaos really started.
Well, there's fresh hope this morning for the owners of Valerie. A sausage.
Very mindful of the psychological side of things and wanting to get this dog switching off of, fight or flight. So the plan was to get her comfortable enough to go into the trap, getting more and more confident, more and more calm when she came in.
We've set up the cage with all the comforts of home for little Valerie and with her toys and teddies and blankets. So we're just doing that and then we're off and hopefully she visits tonight. She was always so alert. And in my mind, it's not going to be a safe place until she at least sits down in that trap, lies down and just goes, this is a safe area. But yeah, we didn't see that for a very long
Why was this dog so hard to catch?
time.
Fucking weird.
They continued to reassure us that...
Like, wouldn't you be able to just find where the dog is and call it and the dog will come? The fuck's wrong with that dog?
They would do everything that they possibly
Maybe
could
he,
to...
just doesn't like his owners and they're, fucking retards.
to bring her home. And at the end of the day, we had to trust what they were saying.
That is bizarre.
We didn't know how long this was going to take.
That's bizarre that it'd be that hard to find your own dog. Oh, gum. You're so big and heavy. Cut off blood supply to my legs sometimes. You're so big. Oh my god, got a big cat head too. So pretty.
You know, we thought, oh, it'd be a week, maybe. But it wasn't.
How did that sausage dog survive that long?
She shakes it and then she sits down. My heart, oh my gosh. Looking at it, you just think like she wants to come home. Like
That could have set the trap off.
Oh. Oh. Oh my god, wallabies.
What we had to do was get a completely remote way of shutting that trapdoor from a mobile phone.
She was, and that dash.
Went home kiddingly. And she was super calm. It was a matter of pressing the button. Did the trap work? Yes, the door released. The dog is in the trap.
In trap.
Australian wilderness has been captured.
We were blown away by just how good a condition she was in. She had packed on 1.8 kilos of muscle.
Wow. The dog got more jacked from being in the wilderness.
Beautiful white pearly teeth. Just a picture of health. So then...
What the fuck was the dog doing?
The conspiracy started.
I have absolutely no doubt that somebody unknown fed this dog for the duration while it was out there. That little dog could not have come out
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
looking so good, so shiny, without somebody providing it with a bit of love, care and attention.
There was no bowl of kibbles for her. There was no bowl of kibbles at all. So, and I know a lot of people thought that, but no.
Well, what the fuck was the dog eating?
We are currently...
Like it's a sausage dog. It's not like gonna fucking be able to chase after and kill a wallaby or anything.
Cygnet River on Kangaroo Island.
Dodo donate $2 Sarah Payne now. Okay.
I think I'm making. It's incredible how many.
That is bizarre. So fucking weird.
As any Churchill or someone, I think it was like a Harvard commencement address, and I can be wrong.
Two donators, you haven't reacted to this Frank short yet.
Oh, it must be nice to live in Costa Rica and surf every day. It's like not long ago I was completely broke.
Paul? Yeah, no, we've already reacted to that. We did that yesterday. We've already seen that one. Thanks for the donation though too. I love how his lawyer is on his ass right now. Well, his ex-lawyer. Yeah, whatever, this is boring. Europe is so fucking gay, dude.
Lindsay, what did he have to say?
Well, Adrian, Justin Van Rootselaar also lives in Tumbler Ridge. In a statement, he says he is the biological father of the individual
I'm 34.
responsible.
Gonna be turning 35 in June.
And he goes on to say that he has a sorrow that is difficult to put into words. He says he was estranged from the shooter and not given the opportunity to be part of raising the shooter. He says Jesse Van Rootselaar did not use that family name at any point. CBC News has not verified those claims. In part of the statement, Justin Van Rootselaar speaks to the victims, to the families who have lost their loved ones, and to every person who has been affected by this senseless and unforgivable depth of profound sadness that has set
firearms. What more have you learned tonight?
Well, we are learning that some people in Tumbler Ridge, Adrian, had been worried for years about firearms in the house where the shooter's mother and stepbrother were killed. Worried because the shooter had mental health problems. The RCMP say police had visited the home on several occasions and that the shooter was apprehended and treated for mental health. I learned about this concern from a conversation with the head of the Canadian...
So it's the same shit. The police did nothing about somebody who was potentially dangerous, just like with the Nova Scotia shooter. People reported that he had illegal firearms and shit, and then they just didn't do anything about it.
Coalition for Firearm Rights. He was talking to members of his group, gun owners in Tumbler Ridge, and they wanted to know why firearms were seized from the residents and then returned after the owner of those firearms petitioned to get them back. It's important to point out that there's a lot we don't know here. We don't know who owned the guns that were taken and returned, and we don't know if those firearms were used in the crime.
I'd like to see some accountability. I'd like to know what went into the decision to return those firearms, when they were returned, what was the procedure, what was the due diligence that the RCMP was involved, and others, psychologists or whoever.
Good old lazy RCMP. We ain't gonna do shit.
Damn nigga, you're turning 35 in June. I swear it was literally your birthday like 2 months ago, wasn't it? You're getting old and also fat. How are you coping with being almost fucking 40 years old and you peaked and on your way to dad bod?
Yes. Thanks for the donation, dude.
I'd like to know what those steps that were taken were before those firearms were returned to a clearly inappropriate environment.
Yeah. The steps were, we don't care. We don't want to go to court. Let's just give them back their guns so they stop bothering us. You know, the usual. Just like with the Nova Scotia shooter. Let's just not do anything about it, even though people keep warning us.
It crawls through layers of internal communication. Welcome back, Defenders. This has been a crazy week. Russia throttles Telegram, and its own troops say targeting now takes hours instead of minutes. Before the slowdown, targeting data from a drone reportedly reached fire teams in under 2 minutes. Now without Telegram, it crawls through layers of internal communication, arriving too late to matter. This is what Russian soldiers are saying. And the Kremlin is trying to ignore this problem. They're trying to pretend like...
If all of England was Muslim, it would be a fantastic place to live.
Oh, holy...
Yeah, just like Baghdad.
Why'd you say that?
Are you mad?
Do you know what that tells me? You haven't a clue about Islam. You haven't a clue.
Alright, thanks for the donation, Dodo. To donate $2. No, you really haven't. It looks similar to the other bullshit.
Oh, it must be nice to live in
We've
Costa
already
Rica and
seen
surf
this.
every day. It's like not long ago, I was completely broke.
Paul Saladino has spent over 6 figures per single day.
Why did we've already seen this, you fucking jackass? Thanks for the donation, dude.
Like, no Russian soldiers should need to use Telegram for anything. Here's a statement from Dmitry Peskov. I don't think it's possible to imagine frontline communications being provided via Telegram or some other messenger. it's difficult and impossible to imagine such a thing. This has Russian military bloggers furious because, yes, there's about 700,000 Russian soldiers in the occupied territories, and if they have a smartphone, and if they have internet, then every single one of them has Telegram, and they use it every day to fight this war. Here's a post from the military blogger Platon Mamedov, and he gives an example. Aerial reconnaissance of Unit N spotted a Ukrainian self-propelled gun in a shelter in the middle of Town N. 5 minutes after the discovery, the target's coordinates and a detailed video were uploaded to a special secret chat group read by all the drone operators, scouts, and artillerymen in that sector of the front. The strikers used the video to understand how to approach the target, where the branches were, where the nets were, where the infantry with rifles were guarding the air, and also the nature of the target, armor thickness, vulnerable spots under the armor, and so on. 20 minutes after the target was detected, the first drone with the appropriate munitions was inserted into it. This is how fast you can move, using the internet and using Telegram to upload pictures and videos. Now try and do this with a radio, like a simple walkie-talkie radio. Try to communicate all that information. Russians are filming videos of themselves begging Putin to undo this decision. Let me read for you what this Russian soldier is saying. I would like to appeal to Roskomnadzor, this is the government organization that blocks stuff, and higher up, whoever Vladimir Putin may hear, that the Telegram platform allows us to quickly exchange information and successfully combat enemy UAVs. The fact that you now want to take this tool from us, well, he who sows the wind will reap the whirlwind. We are worthy sons of our people. We are not against, and we are always for beating the enemy in any field, and no matter how hard or easy it is for us. But now the process of information exchange and interaction, which was established with great difficulty, is being more complicated. Believe me, I know this better than anyone, because I was the one who set it all up. But now, I would like to ask RKN a question, and you asked us what you want to ban. Did any of you come and find out if this would be useful? Sincerely, Inge. To the guys, to everyone who knows me, a big, big hello. I think you will support me. This man's probably already been arrested. This is how members of Russia's State Duma are reacting. Now, this is all a performance because 75 million Russians use Telegram monthly, so they know this is unpopular, but they also know they can't question Putin or object to what he's doing, so they go to the microphone to make a performance like, we're really upset, we're going to get to the bottom of this, but I don't think Russia's going to reverse this decision. This is what members of their Duma are saying and sounding like.
Кто делает заведение Telegram? Идите на передовую. На СВО. Ребята, которые кровь проливают, у них связь единственная с родными и близкими. Вы что делаете, идиоты? Я называю их словами идиоты. Вы что делаете? Люди собирают деньги на СВО. Люди единственная возможность общаться с родными и близкими через телеграм-каналы. Да, Мак замечательный мессенджер. Но давайте только дадим возможность людям самим определяться, что они выбирают. Я еще раз хочу сказать. Те, кто это делает, мерзавцы. Мерзавцы. Люди гибнут там. Гибнут за Россию, за русский мир. А вы что делаете?
So they're like so dumb they're handicapping their own military now?
Scoundrels and idiots are ruining Ruski Mir. He makes a good point in that Russian soldiers use Telegram to communicate with their family and friends back home. If Telegram is blocked, yes, they have the official state government surveillance app Max, but either their family and friends don't want to use it, or they don't want to use it. So this is going to make communication for all Russians together much worse, but this is what the Kremlin wants. They don't want their people talking to each other about how bad things are back in Russia and how bad things are on the front lines. But I think the biggest benefit is that there's going to be a complete collapse in fundraising support for military units. The Russians do the same thing we do. We use social media to post pictures and ask for donations. We then buy stuff for military units. And the Russians really depend on this. The Russian military doesn't issue everything that frontline Russian soldiers need. They really depend on getting donations as well as contributions, and they use Telegram to coordinate all of this. This donation and volunteer structure just collapsed for frontline Russian soldiers. There are cons for Ukraine, though, in that I don't think we're going to get as many pictures and videos out of Russia. Anytime there's a refinery strike or a protest or something going on, if fewer Russians are using Telegram, then Ukrainians and people living in the West aren't going to be able to see those pictures and videos. Like, I'm not signing up for the Max app. I don't even know if people outside of Russia can sign up for the Max app. Let's follow up on Starlink. Russia blackmails families of Ukrainian POWs into registering Starlink terminals for its military. The government put out this announcement. Registration requires identity verification, making anyone who complies easily traceable. The estimate is there was more than 1,000 Starlink terminals being used by frontline Russian forces, and they all went dark. The Russians really want this internet connection back, so apparently they've been in contact with the family members of Ukrainian POWs saying, register our Starlink in the official system. Otherwise, we'll torture your husband, we'll torture your brother, we'll torture your son. They're threatening violence against POWs to try and coerce Ukrainians to sign up their Starlink terminals. But then there's this. In this mass chaos and confusion, Ukrainian intelligence saw an opportunity. And this is the 256 Cyber Assault Division. And they faked that announcement. In my last video, I mentioned that Russians were offering like a couple $100 US to any Ukrainians that would help them register their Starlink terminals. But this was an intelligence operation, one, to get information and money from the Russians, but also to expose any Ukrainian collaborators that might try and help them. So we did so.
That is funny.
By creating a network of channels and bots that appeared to offer activation services for a fee. In a single week, this intelligence group, received 2,420 submissions with enemy Starlink details and precise geolocations, 31 messages from would-be collaborators eager to act as, these are Ukrainian citizens that were willing to help the Russians. They've all been caught now. And the Ukrainian military brought in $6,000 in donations from Russian troops desperate to activate their Starlink terminals.
Dude, that is funny. They literally ganked fucking money from these stupid Russians.
This has been confirmed by Sternenko. This is pretty hilarious, but the Russians are this dumb. And now they have all of their Starlink serial numbers and locations, and they got a little bit of money from them. Pretty funny. Russia has now also fully blocked WhatsApp and YouTube. Before, both of the services were being restricted. So if you were trying to use WhatsApp before, you couldn't send files, pictures, or videos. It would load very slowly. The same is true with YouTube. YouTube wasn't fully blocked until this week. You used to be able to maybe load a video in 480p if you waited like 20 minutes. But now both the domains are completely gone. So the government agency that blocks sites, they've officially blocked WhatsApp and they blocked YouTube, in addition to slowing down Telegram, which probably means within 6 months they're going to completely block it. They're trying to ruin the service to force people voluntarily to go onto Max. But eventually Max will be their only option for communication, so the FSB can monitor and record and surveil everyone in Russia. Here's a statement from WhatsApp. Today, the Russian government attempted to fully block WhatsApp in an effort to drive people to a state-owned surveillance app. Trying to isolate over 100 million users from private and secure communication is a backward step and can only lead to less safety for people in Russia.
Dude, Russia's becoming such a fucking insane shithole. Like, anywhere else... like, anywhere else in the world, other than, like, maybe North Korea, people probably would have just rebelled at this point. But, yeah, Russians are just extremely... tolerant isn't the word I'm looking for. Complacent. That's probably from all the vodka they drink.
Continue to do everything we can to keep users connected. Ukraine advances in Zaporizhia after Russian troops lose Starlink access. You might have seen this headline or saw some videos saying that Ukraine is going on the attack. Yes and no. Ukraine isn't counterattacking to win ground. It's racing to fortify before 715,000 Russians attack them. So what Ukraine is currently doing is they're trying to retake advantageous positions, having to do with maybe geography or logistics. Here's an example. Let's say some Russian infiltration groups got to the other side of the river, and the river makes a nice geographical boundary to defend. So Ukraine at the moment is going on the offense to try and retake these positions, clear out these infiltration groups, and then have a hill or a mountain or a village or a river be a better defensive point. This is what's currently going on the front lines, but Ukraine's not going to have a breakthrough anytime soon. The Russians are not advancing at all. It's just the kill zone. I mean, that's what we're calling it now. There are villages that the Russians control, there are villages that the Ukrainians control, and then there are multiple villages in between them where FPV drones just hunt day and night. Let me share this video with you. And this is what's happening thousands and thousands of times a day. Yes, both Ukraine and Russia are doing it, but Ukraine isn't exposing themselves. Ukrainian soldiers try never to be spotted in the kill zone, but the Russians are always forcing their men to go on the attack, and this is what happens. Anytime a vehicle or an infantryman or a guy on a horse tries to go into the kill zone, they don't last very long anymore. Arsenal was hit. The Flamingo is mired in controversy. Can successful strikes redeem its reputation? This is the second launch of Flamingo cruise missiles this week. These are 5.5 drones, or cruise missiles, and 6 were launched at the 117th GRU Arsenal in the Volgograd region. Let me share with you a little bit of the video of these really large cruise missiles taking off from the ground. The problem with the Flamingo is it's just too expensive. It costs more than $500,000 to produce one, and at that rate, you could either have one Flamingo for $500,000 or you could have 10 Firepoint 2 drones for $50,000, or you could have 1,000 fiber optic drones for $500 each. So it's just a, how do you want to allocate your money and resources? This is what the Flamingos were targeting. This is the GRU ammunition depot located in Volgograd. There are reports of fire at the depot, and based on the videos, I don't think these were some major hits. There's some minor secondary explosions, but nothing like the spectacular explosions we saw 2 years ago. You can see how many of these Ukrainian defenders came out to watch the. They don't, though. Ukrainian drones wipe out 50 million in Russian air defenses in a single night. Here's another video showing Ukraine successfully destroying a Tor air defense system. This was done with either a Firepoint 1 or a Firepoint 2 drone. Russia loses another air defense system almost every single day. We're back to hitting refineries. Lukoil's Volgograd refinery burns again after 9th drone strike in 2 years. The plant supplies diesel for heavy armor and aviation kerosene for military aircraft operating against Ukraine. This is a picture of the Volgograd oil refinery on fire. Looks pretty big. And we got confirmation from Reuters. Ukraine's drone strike triggers first major Russian refinery shutdown of 2026. 2 industry sources told Reuters that the Lukoil-owned facility halted processing. Let's go to the bingo board. And the Volgograd. So, Russia's going to keep fixing it, but it is slowing. The Luti drones flying in. This was more than one, probably more than 2, based on the damage and the fact that there are still drones coming in after the refinery has already been struck. I can show you another video here showing you the refinery is definitely on fire, so that's Ukraine's strategy. What are the Russians doing with their drones and missiles? And they blew up a supermarket in Kharkiv. Drone kills father and 3 toddlers in the Kharkiv Oblast, the children's mother, who's 35 European Union countries. And since Trump took office more than a year ago, the United States is done, 99% withdrawn. The good news is that Europe has increased their aid by 67% to make sure that Donald Trump was elected so that he stopped the flow of money, stopped the flow of weapons to Ukraine. Yes, he's still selling weapons for a profit, but that's money that the Europeans could have used in addition to military aid funds. He wants to make money. If you hate Donald Trump, most people in America now do. Yes, Donald Trump's approval rating was over 50%. He got like 51% of the popular vote in the election, but he's been a complete disaster. Everyone in America right now is living...
Yeah, Adam's timed out. He can't just spam nonsense.
A nightmare. It's a nightmare every day for me to wake up, pay attention to the news, and say, this cannot stand. American democracy cannot survive. This story just to go away. Trump's been calling it a hoax, calling it $125 million for Ukraine's air defense.
My nutsack is itchy. There we go. Nutsack is not itchy anymore right now because I scratched it. Spaghetti. Still gotta get my racing wheel fixed. Keep fucking forgetting. I'm gonna go to bed now. My nuts are itchy and whatnot. So I'm gonna go to bed now. Should have a more normal sort of schedule tomorrow, so I'll see you all then. But big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Sweet dreams.